Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Yachts here, and it's Saturday, so we're doing a Saturday Share the Love Club. Since the Team Canada is not playing for a medal this morning, we're going to do a Share the Love Club. And this week was the week for Basketball Without Borders in Johannesburg, South Africa. And the Raptors had a very large contingency of Raptor participation at the Basketball Without Borders. Of course, Masai Ujiri is the director of Basketball Without Borders, so he's heavily involved in it often. Well, but this year we had our coach there also. We had our starting point guard there, and we even had our recent signee to our training camp roster, Bruno Fernando, at Basketball Without Borders. It's an interesting, amazing experience for young people to come and get a chance to play in a camp with NBA personnel and people around to see them. This is something that was started in 2001 out of trying to meld healing between political divides and war in Yugoslavia. To be honest, this is not a program that was centered around Africa, and it really isn't to this day. It's a global program in conjunction between the NBA and FIBA, and it has taken part in all areas. There's Basketball Without Borders Africa, Basketball Without Borders Americas, Basketball Without Borders Europe, Basketball Without Borders Asia. So they've gone to different regions and done different things. And you may be shocked to hear the alumni from the Basketball Without Borders. You may be very, very shocked to hear some of the players. I would tell y'all this right now, that a majority of Team Canada that just played in the Olympics was participants in a Basketball Without Borders program in the past. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if y'all knew that. Kelly Olynyk was at Basketball Without Borders. RJ Barrett was at Basketball Without Borders. So was Andrew Nebhard and Benedict Mathurin. Yeah. A lot of the Canadian guys were participants in Basketball Without Borders in the past. And well, let's do a little more history on it here. Like I said, they started this because of Yugoslavia, because of the war-torn country of Yugoslavia, Serbia, and Bosnia, and Croatia. They wanted to start healing the divide of the 90s wars of that country. So they held the very first Basketball Without Borders in Treviso, Italy. And a big focus was getting youth from both sides in a camp so that they could learn to love each other through practicing and learning the sport of basketball. Very, very awesome program. Then the next one they did was they had one in Greece the next year after that. It was actually in Istanbul, actually in Turkey. And that one in 2002 was because there had been a lot of divide between Greece and Turkey at that time. Probably still is to a degree, but they came and had a camp to unite Turkish and Greek players and get them a little bit more humanity and more peace going with them. So the original ones were in Europe, and they were very much to try and help war-torn countries or conflicts between countries in that continent. It wasn't until 2003 that they first went to Johannesburg. And that was when they went to Basketball Without Borders Africa for the first time. They had 106 camp attendees in that first one. And then in the 2004 year, they went to the Americas and held one in Rio de Janeiro, along with one in Europe, in Treviso, Italy, and one in Johannesburg, Africa. So they've done the Basketball Without Borders in South Africa quite often over these last 25 years. Yeah. They went to Asia for the first time in 2005, doing a Basketball Without Borders in Beijing. And that was the first year that they did 4 Basketball Without Borders camps in each of the sectors: Americas, Asia, Europe, and Africa. So they were very busy that year in 2005, putting on camps in 4 different continents in 4 different regions. In 2006, they did it once again, very successfully, and switching the cities around to Shanghai, Vilnius, Lithuania, San Juan, Puerto Rico for the Americas, and Johannesburg once again. Yeah, the South African camp is very much the one that's been very anchored for Basketball Without Borders in the continent of Africa. Now, they started giving away MVPs in 2007, And, we start to see some names on the MVP list, which is very, very interesting. Some of the players that you may know that have won an MVP at the Basketball Without Borders is in 2013 in Buenos Aires at the Basketball Without Borders Americas camp. The MVP was Bruno Cabico. In fact, this was the very famous Basketball Without Borders where he was discovered. And he was just a total unknown. He was just a kid who showed up at the camp. And they saw Bruno and like, who is this kid? He's good. And then everybody's like, whoa, Basketball Without Borders is something we need to pay attention to because Bruno Cabico was found there, guys. He is a Basketball Without Borders MVP from the Buenos Aires camp in 2013. So, and then you keep looking down. I'm looking at for more. Like, listen to this. I bet y'all didn't know this, but in 2015, at the Basketball Without Borders in Europe, it was held in Spain. They discovered Omer Yurtseven. And this is in 2015, guys. How long did it take Yurtseven to get to the league and start playing for, I guess he's with the Heat or something? Well, that's what I'm saying. They find these kids young, and they're like, wow, Omer Yurtseven. That's in 2015 they found him at the Basketball Without Borders camp back then. They've had Basketball Without Borders camp in Toronto, guys. Did y'all know that? That in 2016, Toronto, Ontario, Canada hosted the Global Basketball Without Borders camp. And there was an Australian guy that won the MVP called Harry Froling at that camp. That was February 12th through 14th in 2016. Toronto was the host of a Basketball Without Borders camp. So this is the thing. There's no borders. Just because Toronto is an NBA city and we got NBA team here, well, there's no border for Basketball Without Borders to show up and do their camp here. They've done camps in Chicago. They've done camps in cities across the United States like New York and New Orleans. So, why not? Why not? In fact, in 2017 in New Orleans, at the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp, the MVP was our own Star J. RJ Barrett is a Basketball Without Borders MVP, guys. I don't know if y'all knew this. I didn't until I saw this morning. RJ Barrett is an MVP of Basketball Without Borders camp. And that was in 2017 at the New Orleans Global Basketball Without Borders camp. You see, he's Canadian. And technically, that's an international country, right? Even though we're kind of like America. Well, we Canadians can go to Basketball Without Borders and partake in that competition and that thing. It's Americans can't go to it, though. That's the thing. Maybe that is the border. The border is Americans can't come. All right, looking more at it, Charles Bassey was a Basketball Without Borders MVP from Nigeria in the global camp in El Segundo in 2018. Also, Demi Avija from Israel has been a two-time Basketball Without Borders MVP at Basketball Without Borders Europe camp in Belgrade in 2018, and also at the global camp at Charlotte, North Carolina the next year. So he's a two-time MVP of Basketball Without Borders, Avija. Yeah. Let's see. Is there anybody else of note on the line on the list? No, those are the names of the MVPs. But listen to the list of guys who have attended the Basketball Without Borders camp as a player: Josh Giddey, Benedict Mathurin, Josh Primo, Omax Prosper, Killian Hayes, Denny Avija, Julian Strother, Alexi Poku, Charles Bassey, Josh Green, who we just saw for Australia, Christian Koloko, AJ Lawson, Andrew Nebhard, Ignas Brazidikas, who's a Lithuanian Canadian, Isaac Bonga, Lugets Dort, RJ Barrett, Sandro Mamalusavelli, Thon Maker, DeAndre Ayton, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, Lindell Wigington, Frank Nicolina, the guy that's playing point guard for France today, Isaiah Hartenstein. Technically, he's from Eugene, Oregon, but he's a German descent, so they let him come as a German participant. Isaiah Hartenstein, Roy Hashimura, Omer Yurtseven, Jamal Murray, Lauri Markkanen, Bruno Cabico, Pascal Siakam, Joel Embiid, Gorgui Dieng, Kelly Olynyk is actually a Basketball Without Borders alumni. He went in 2009 to the Americas Without Borders. Ennis Cantor Freedom, Jonas Valanciunas. In fact, he's one of the earliest ones because Jonas, of course, was. It's a very interesting story when some people went over there. I was Jeff Landicho went over there for the first time with Masai and them, and that's when he started his career with Open Gym. Was going to that one to Basketball Without Borders and seeing Jonas there. So that's a very important one. Of course, Nicolas Batum also of the French team. Marco Bellinelli, a former Raptor. Gravis Vasquez, a former Raptor. Solomon Alabi, a former Raptor. Yeah, Luke Mbe Amatu, Andrea Bagnani, Omri Casipi, Danilo Gallinari, Johan Petro, and guess what? In 2003, at one of the earliest Basketball Without Borders in Europe, Marc Gasol. That's right. So listen, this isn't just all Rishamshe kind of stuff. These were big time players that did big time things with their playing careers over time. That list I just read. So, yeah, share the love for Basketball Without Borders. Another great camp week in Johannesburg this week, led by Masai Ujiri, Darko Rajakovic, Emmanuel Quickly, Bruno Fernando, Sam Cassell, Jesse Murray. Yes, we had a great contingency down there. And who knows which future NBA star was in attendance this past week in South Africa, getting the tutelage of Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? That's awesome for Emmanuel, a kid from Baltimore, Maryland, an American going beyond and above internationally to go give back to international youth in Africa, in South Africa this week. Fantastic stuff. Kudos and bravo to Masai Ujiri and the great things he does for international basketball around the world and for youth and for people to get opportunity. Of course, another side of Basketball Without Borders is they have women's camps now at this point, and they're looking for the next women that are going to come into the WNBA also. So there's a lot of good stuff happening in this program. Of course, this is the program that united Basketball Without Borders was the reason that Masai Ujiri met Teresa Resch. And Teresa Resch and Masai Ujiri's partnership and working together over the years in the Raptors. And now she's going to move on to lead the WNBA team here in Toronto with Kilmer Group. So it's just been a great, great thing that has been going on for almost 25 years now. I guess next year will be the 25th anniversary, maybe, of Basketball Without Borders. And, well, it should be celebrated because it has been a fantastic, positive net result of what it does, bringing people together, giving people opportunity, inspiring young dreams, and broadening the horizons of the sport of basketball around the world. So, yeah, great stuff, Masai. Once again, that's right. Y'all talk about the love you have for this program that I just talked about. Like I said, half our Team Canada is a Basketball Without Borders participant. So that's a big deal. That's a big, big deal right there. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's going on in the chat this morning on a Saturday morning. Saturday Share the Love Club. That's right. Share that love for Basketball Without Borders. That's right. Mo's saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. Keep making great memories with Basketball Without Borders. We love to see it. Yeah, I do too. Trevor posted a bunch of great pictures in our Raptor Freak private group. There's a beautiful picture of Darko, Masai, and Emmanuel standing next to each other. It's so beautiful to see three very much pillars of our team together and working in conjunction. I love the commitment by Emmanuel to be there. I love that Darko is there as a person from a different country, Serbia, showing up with Masai and showing the support for a very important program for the NBA and FIBA, and also from Masai Ujiri personally. So I love that our guys support that and show up. And yeah, there's all kinds of cool pictures of them working out with the kids. Emmanuel really enjoyed it, I'm sure. It's really the kind of thing where Emmanuel probably would say it feeds your soul. You get to see the youngsters, they're dancing and smiling, and they're just so eager to learn from you. And it just feels so good. There's been a lot of clips of Darko coaching at Basketball Without Borders this week, and he's very fierce. He's very stern. He's very mean looking in some of the pictures. And, well, that's just him being very serious about his profession, and that's basketball. Sure, he's a nice guy. Sure, he'll talk to you and he'll really care about you off the court. But when you are doing business with him on the court and he's your coach, you better listen to him and you better get going. That's what I'm saying about that. Yeah, Emmanuel smiling on the court in this one picture here, wearing a green basketball without borders shirt. Love to see it. Masai speaking to a bunch of kids himself. Probably a very inspired speech that, who knows? Some of those kids may have heard him that day, and they've got big, huge dreams going forward. There's Emmanuel sitting with Bruno Fernando, new Raptor, sitting in NBA Cares t-shirts in one of the pictures also. Yeah, I love to see the images from it. Lots of great memories, Mo. For sure. Good morning to super fan Monique Lawrence. We love you so much. Trevor is saying, good morning, Raptors family. Never blame anyone in your life. Good people give you happiness. Bad people give you experience. And the worst people give you a lesson. Best people give you memories. There you go, Trevor J. I like that words of wisdom. That's a nice one. Our commissioner of fun, Trevor J., always stepping in and giving us some good words of wisdom. Man, your little purple icon next to your name, Trevor, looks so cool. That signifies longevity, that it is switched to that. It is aged. You have an aged icon now. That's what that means. And only a certain people, if you've been a member for a certain amount of time, get that. So that's pretty special. I appreciate that. Trevor's also letting us know that one of the games in the medal round for the Paris Olympics is over. Serbia has beaten Germany 93-83 this morning for the bronze medal in senior men's basketball. Yeah, Jokic made Olympic history with his 5th triple-double. That's fantastic. Wow. Nikola Jokic, very, very, very awesome player, just got 5 triple-doubles in the Olympics. That's how many games? 6 games. So there was only one game in the Olympics that Nikola played and that he didn't get a triple-double in. Wow, that's very impressive. I'm sure Darko Rajakovic is very, very proud of his country getting the bronze. In some ways, I predicted this yesterday because Germany beat Serbia last year for the gold at the FIBA World Cup in the gold medal game there. But Jokic wasn't playing at that cup. And in some ways, the added addition of Nikola Jokic to an already pretty good Serbia team, that's the factor that puts them over the top against Dennis and the crew today. But I'm sure hard-fought victory for Serbia. And, well, you know what? Hold your heads up high, Germany. You guys have had a fantastic year. And, well, you guys are still considered the world champions in some ways, honestly. You are, at least right now, until maybe later today. That's what I would say. But yeah, you World Cup champions mean world champions in my book. So hold your head up high, Dennis, Franz, and Mo, and the crew from Germany. Yeah. Dana's here. Good morning, everyone. And she's got Masai and Darko on blast. Good morning to Canadian Dana, one of my favorite Raptor freaks. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday to start your day. It's only a couple more weekends in the summertime, so we need to take advantage of them and get out there and touch grass. That's what I'm talking about. Dana's saying, I'm ready for the season to start. Let's go. Yeah. Well, at least we have summer to enjoy up until then. And then, yeah, let's get down to business, Raptors. We've got the new barbecue era, and we need to start up the grill. That's what I'm talking about right there. Rico Hines dropped the first Rico Hines clip this morning, actually. I watched the beginning and the end of it. I didn't watch all the running around part with the players because, honestly, there's no Raptors there. The most Raptor connection is former assistant coach Rico Hines himself, and Jeffrey Doughton Jr. is there running around. Notable names at the first Rico Hines runs clip, if you do want to watch it: Daniel Gafford of the Dallas Mavericks, Jaime Vasquez Jr. of the Miami Heat, and a lot of Philadelphia players, including their draft pick, Adem Bana. So he's there also. KJ Martin, Jeffrey Doughton Jr., Kevon Looney, the regular assortment of Rico guys, but no Raptors there right now. No Raptors there. In fact, it's speculated that they will be in Spain doing stuff. I don't know. Are they in Spain now or were they already in Spain? I'm not totally sure. Amit's here. Good to see our season 3 champion. Look at this beautiful trophy behind me by Commissioner of Trivia David Saborin. Donated this to the channel. The Raptor Free Trivia Championship. And in this little plaque right here, it says 2024 Amit Gaming Season 3 Raptor Freak Trivia Champion. That's a beautiful thing. Next to a David's name, second champion. And, of course, G, the inaugural champion of trivia. They are ensconced in history for this channel on our great Trivia Championship trophy. So, Amit, you are in history now, my guy. That's right. Let's see what he's saying this morning. Yo, what's up, y'all? Hope everyone is doing well. Been so jet lagged lately. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he just flew back home from Canada, and that's a big time difference. I think it's like 7 hours or something like that. And well, welcome back. I'm glad you're back safely, and I'm glad you had a fantastic trip. It's seeing all your family here in Ontario, Amit. Congratulations to you, champ. Good job on your tour of Canada, and now I'm glad you're back home safe. That's right. Trevor J is saying yesterday's refs helped the France women's basketball team to get to the gold medal match with the USA on Sunday. Well, Trevor holding up a nice little cue card here for me to talk about. I have not watched any of these games, but I will say this once again. There is a script and there is a pen to a paper, and people are writing out what they want to happen, and they're dictating it to officials. I really do feel like this. How convenient is it that both the men's and women's finals for the gold medal is France versus USA? How convenient is this? Brian Winters. Are we in El Segundo in a dirty ass apartment with a typewriter trying to write screenplays for Hollywood? Is this what's going on here, Olympics? Because honestly, I seen everybody jump all over y'all when you posted this on Twitter yesterday, FIBA. The finals are set, and then you had the Aja Wilson and LeBron James on one side, and Victor and a young lady from the French team on the other side. It's like some people said in the comments, man, y'all got that graphic up real fast. Like you kind of had it ready. Yeah, it's interesting because in some ways, some people would say, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm fringe believer in crazy ideas. No, I'm not. I'm pretty mainstream if you go and test the water and the temperature. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying the same damn thing as me right now. Script writing at the Olympics and writing the way they want the results to go to this, to that, to this, because this is all about this in apparel and shoes money. Nike, FIBA, Adidas, IOC, NBA, they want certain things. And they wanted Wemby versus the United States. Well, they got it. They railroaded 3 teams out of the way to get it. They really did. They railroaded the hell out of Japan. That may have been the most egregious railroad. The Team Canada one was also a railroad. And I'm sure there was some slight manipulation to make sure Germany lost to them too. Well, on the women's side, they did the same kind of shit, apparently. They screwed over Belgium. Yeah, they screwed over Belgium to get the French women to play against the United States in the final goal game, and that side also. Well, good job, script writers. Except next time, the really well-crafted script is the script that nobody knows is getting played out. Yeah. In some ways, if you're lazy with your script writing and you make it too obvious, the majority of people will see right through it. And that's what's happened this year, honestly. So maybe next time, cover your tracks a little better if you really want to make certain storylines happen. That's what I say right there. Yeah. Thank you, Trevor, for that bit of news. Alan Tam, bam, son, coming in. He's going to talk to me about the medals, I'm sure. Let's see what Alan Tam's saying. A great Canadian, Alan Tam, standing for his country, proud of his country and their medals. Yeah, there's something I want to tell you in a second, Alan, actually. Canada has won gold in canoe sprint. What, canoe sprint? Like in a canoe, you sprint? You mean like the fast rowing? Yeah. C1, a 200-meter Katie Vincent, giving Canada a total of 25 medals, the most in a non-boycotted Olympics, 8 gold, 6 silver, and 11 bronze. Yes, Alan, this is what I wanted to talk about when you brought this up. That Canada, as a country, even though we were screwed over in a couple of sports, has done the most successful Olympics in the history of Canada. Yeah, that's right. Seriously. Now, they're talking about in 1980 when Moscow wasn't allowed to come to the Olympics. There were a couple of Olympics where things were boycotted around the 80s, 80 and 84. There's like the Moscow Olympics. Nobody from the U.S. went there. And then in the LA Olympics after that, nobody from Russia went there. And this is kind of the boycotted Olympics they're talking about. In some ways, there is a little bit of a boycott in this. It's not a boycott. It's you're not allowed to come kind of thing. Russia normally has a bigger presence at the Olympics, but because they're fighting a fucked up war in Ukraine, they weren't invited, to be honest. In a lot of ways, they were saying, yeah, we don't want you here. You guys are trash bags for what you're doing behind Putin and your little war in Ukraine. So you know what? We don't want you here. So in some ways, it's kind of like not a boycotted Olympics, but it is. It's not really it's boycotted. It's just you're not allowed to come because Russia does eat up a lot of the medals. And in some ways, that's the factor here. But I'm not going to rain on the parade and say, hey, most successful Olympics that the country of Canada has had. Awesome. I'm all for it. I think it's amazing. And I'm so proud of Canada and what they've done. 25 medals and counting. Canada is the most successful Olympic Summer Games ever. That's right. A non-boycotted. That is the stipulation there. Thank you, Alan Tam. Bam, son. Amit saying Yurt 7 was with the Heat till last season, then somehow got to the Jazz. I don't remember how, and got waived last month. Yeah, I'm just saying that he has a connection to Basketball Without Borders, and that he was an MVP in one of their camps way back, like not recently. This was like in 2017. He was in the camp with them. So that's kind of cool. Alan's saying Serbia beats Germany to win the bronze in men's Olympic basketball. Yes, Trevor said that. Alan's saying Canada's men's won 4 by 100 relay yesterday. Andre DeGrasse wins a gold. He tied with Penny Olisiak, most decorated, most medals for a Canadian athlete with 7 medals. That's fantastic. Glad to hear that the men's relay team kicked some butt yesterday. And DeGrasse still got a medal at the Olympics. That's fantastic stuff. I love that. Yeah. Avida. Yeah, I never say his name. Is Demi Avida? It makes me think of like a Neutrogena or soap or something. Avino or something like that. There's like some shampoo that sounds like his last name. That's what it is. Yeah, it's Avino or something like that. I don't know. Bam, son. All right, there we go. G saying the Olympics have been rigged to get France basketball in both finals. Well, G has just pointed out the script that I'd said that I just read. Yeah, they passed it around in Hollywood a couple months ago and say, yeah, this is a great script. Wemby versus USA. Yeah, it's great. Here you go. All right. Yeah, we don't want to make it, though. We're busy here at this studio. Yeah. But, no, I agree with this. I think that this is probably true. And this is the sad thing. This is the thing, y'all. Powers that be that used to manipulate things behind the scenes, the Wizard of Oz kind of shit, a facade. Well, the veil has been lifted. We live in the era of truth. And people can see the truth about fuckface Trump, and people can see the truth about the screwed up billionaire class that's an absolute parasitic class that is leeching off the majority of every hardworking person in this world to make some crazy ass ungodly sum of money on top of a huge pile like their Schmog and Lord of the Rings sitting there fucking on their pile of gold. Yeah, we see right through all this shit. The veil has been lifted and truth is in the world. And well, we can see this. G's a smart guy. His name's on this trophy. He's a Raptor Freak trivia champion. He knows that he can see the truth through this. And a lot of us can. And that's the thing. If y'all going to have to be a little bit more slick. I mean, there is AI out there. There are all kinds of new tricks that you can start using to fool the masses. But at this point, we see with our eyes wide open. That in some ways that people say, no, France was really good. I mean, Oren Weisel saying, I don't know, guys. I think France is really good, guys. No, Oren, because in some ways, all right, this is the only thing they did that was right. Once again, Gobert got benched and they became an amazingly better team all of a sudden. And Yabusele and Cordner are the reason that France has gotten to where they've gotten. Yeah, I'm arguing with Spurs fans and their Spurs group, private group, because I am in that group because I consider myself a Spurs fan. But I'm being real about this, that Wemby has been horrible at the Olympics on offense. And people are coming at me and saying, what are you watching? You haven't seen what Wemby's doing out there. I'm like, listen, Wemby has been fantastic as a defensive presence, making people not want to come near the basket like he does in the NBA, just like he does because of who he is, 7'4" and crazy ass arms. But he has shot horrible at the Olympics. And any Spurs fan who's trying to argue with me that he has looked good on offense, you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. You are such a glazer, like Scotty said about that LeBron fan, that you just blindly think that Victor Wembanyama has played good offensively at the Olympics, because he has not. They've been carried by that dancing bear guy. Him, yeah, and Cordner recently. Yeah, Wemby's not the offensive driver for that team. In fact, like I said, he missed a layup a foot away from the basket. Not only did he miss it, he airballed it. That's the I mean, seriously, he's just off offensively. In some ways, I'm worried about Wemby not living up to the hype. I'm not gonna lie. I'm serious. There's some real fundamental problems here. Like, see, players should add up to winning or losing. In some ways, Wemby's not adding up to winning right now, even though he has some of the biggest advantages in basketball today. There's something weird about it. I thought he magically would help the Spurs become a winning team last year, but he didn't. He didn't. He didn't have the effect that Duncan and Robinson had before him. He didn't make them have a jump in wins totals like those other two great, fantastic Hall of Fame, amazing champion Spurs that I love so much. No, Wemby has not done this yet. And in some ways, his effect on France isn't what everybody thinks it is. It's defensive. He's a pest in the lane, and people have to watch out for him. But offensively, he's been hot shit. Seriously. Wow, what is his percentage from three, a Spurs fan that's arguing with me in this group right now? Seriously, what is he? He's like 3 for like 30 from 3 for the Olympics or something like that. I think that's about accurate. Seriously, 3 for like 30 is what he shot in the Olympics from 3. I think that's pretty accurate. Seriously, they're crazy. They're crazy over there. Yeah, they're crazy. All right, let's see. Alan's saying, I hope France beats USA, but I doubt it. USA will win the gold again. No, they won't allow that. As much as they've helped France, if France, I'm telling you right now, if France has a chance and it's really close, they will screw them over for the US. Because once again, it's about this. And in some ways, in the hierarchy of the whole entire world, and what matters to the powers that be or that are all about this, they can't have the USA lose. They really, really can. And as much as it may be this or this, the story will be hollow if they try to say, well, it's Victor's world now. Yeah, but what did I just say about Victor? He's not ready. He needs to either fill out or he needs to get better. Either way, he's not there. He is not a winning player in the NBA at this point. He really isn't. I mean, look at the Spurs record from last year. He didn't do what Robinson and Duncan did before. That's right. Let's see. G Sands, congrats to Serbia. They have a fantastic team. Basketball Without Borders is a blessing and a gift that will keep on giving. It's a fantastic, like, you know what? I'm going to say this. Anything that's called Without Borders is fantastic. It's just an amazing thing. Whether it's Doctors Without Borders, Basketball Without Borders. You know what? Borders seem like the thing that's fucked up. Maybe we don't need borders. Oh, no, Lex is going to go on a globalization rant now. No. Forget about that. No, I'm just saying, because if they say there's no borders, that usually means they're coming in to help people regardless of geopolitical lines or, different things that may get in the way normally. So, yeah, I think that things that have no borders are fantastic. And Basketball Without Borders, Doctors Without Borders. Y'all are awesome. Y'all do so much good work. Seriously. That's what I'm about. Yeah. Andrew's saying, Raptor Freak Andrew's in the house. What's up, people? Happy Saturday. I'm cheering for the U.S. to for the first time because I don't want France to win gold. I can get behind this too. In some ways, some people have said, can they both just lose? In some ways, I would like to be like that, but that's not possible. That's not going to happen. So the USA is just going to win. Just go ahead and get your golds. Aja Wilson, LeBron James, go on and get your golds, both teams, because we know in some ways they want to make sure, even though the game's becoming more and more international and the rest of the world's catching up, they need to let everyone know that the United States is still top dog, no matter what. And it's true. They are. And they have the best talent overall. But I'm going to say something. The world is still catching up. And they will be catching up closer and closer and closer in the years to come. That it's closer than ever right now. And it will be continuing to shrink, especially if the United States does not do a better job preparing their young players. In some ways, the NBA superstar mentality is hurting how good they can be in some ways. Trust me, there's a lot of egotism and prima donnaism and softy kind of shit. That's what the old heads would tell you. You go talk to Charles Barkley, he said, yeah, these young guys are soft. They ain't like what we were like. Yeah, I know he's right. Because he knows, because he was one of those hard ass motherfuckers that didn't take shit. yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Olympics soon end. Paralympics start right after. Very cool. Very, very cool. And I'm glad that they have those Olympics. I thought that they kind of went along with each other, but they're going to do them right afterwards. That's fantastic. Yeah, the closing ceremonies, I believe, are on Sunday night or Sunday during the day, since it's Paris time. But yeah, it'll be all over tomorrow. Usually the basketball stretches the whole entire run. Then they have to have the games in between, the days in between, so that the gold medal game is the day before the last day of the Olympics. Yeah, it'll all be over tomorrow. All be over tomorrow. And we'll be switching gears up on this, going very, very much more focused on training camp and the Raptors and the preseason and some Rico runs, stuff like that. We'll see if any Raptors show up. I will say this: Rico Hines brought up Siakam in his first clip of the year for this year. He brought up Siakam as an example of a kid, and this is his own words. He said when Siakam showed up at Rico Hines runs, he didn't know anything about basketball. That's what Rico said. He didn't know how to play. He didn't know how to do jack shit. So what he did was he started working out. Instead of doing 4 days a week, he did 7 days a week for like 4 months. And he busted his ass. And that's why Rico Hines says Pascal Siakam is the hardest working person in the NBA. And it's interesting when he says stuff like that. It's kind of like KJ Martin and Jeff Doughton and a couple of people are behind him. And KJ is kind of like looking funny, like he doesn't respect Siakam when he's saying that. But I'm telling you, people need to respect Siakam. So many people in the NBA have a weird opinion about him. Why do you have a weird opinion about him? Is it because he's from Cameroon? He's not American? Because he came the unconventional route? Because in some ways he's not the normal superstar in the NBA because of his route? The dude worked really, really hard. And Rico Hines is going to use that example for the youngsters at his Rico Hines runs. They need to listen and respect the name Siakam. That's what I say about that. Yeah, he didn't know basketball, according to Rico Hines. When he said, that's what he said in the newest clip. He said, Siakam didn't know anything about basketball when I first met him. That's what he said, seriously. Let's see. All right, Randolph's here. Good to see you. Randolph Phillips, one of our wise men. Saturday morning blessings, beloved Raptor freaks. Most informative gang. Life's beautiful. Let's enjoy every moment and share the good times with others. The world needs love. I agree with this. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Yes. That's an old classic from like the 70s back then. Thank you, Randolph. And blessings. And yes, let's put more love in this world. Share the love, y'all. Share the love. Leo Routens is saying this morning for Team Canada, once again, he's talking directly to Jamal Murray, RJ, and SGA. Setbacks are temporary, but perseverance is permanent. There you go. That's why I do a stream every single day, Leo. That's right. And Canada will be back. They will persevere, and they will come back after the setback of this. Now, a lot of the people like Orrin Weisfeld, he wrote an article in the last couple of days talking about how he feels like this Olympics with Canada was not a failure. That, listen, baby steps. In some ways, y'all, we hadn't even been in the Olympics since 2000. And we showed up. And so in some ways we should take, as we progress each step, as it's naturally supposed to happen and not get too upset or mad about what happened. In some ways, yeah, sure, we got railroaded in some ways. Yeah. But the progress has been shown that the growth of Canada basketball is on its way up and we're here and people need to fear us. That's what I say about that. Yeah. Smooth saying Canada won another gold this morning. Wow. All right, let's keep going, Smooth. Let's keep going. That's right. Cool Cat saying Rico is Nick Nurse's assistant coach in the Sixers. So I expect the team would be there. I wonder if any Raptors players are going to show up. They're seeing all the changes. I don't know. In some ways, I don't care. I think that in some ways that has to do with Darko. I mean, if anybody's going to show up, it won't be a Raptor. It'll be Siakam. Siakam may show up at some point, right? Because he usually does. I don't know. I don't know if a single damn one of our Raptors will be at Rico Hines runs this year. And I don't care either way. In some ways, it's just a show. These guys can get their own private workouts with Darko somewhere else. I'm fine with it. That seems like what they're doing. So it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of Sixers. And yeah, a handful of different assorted guys that I named earlier, like Vasquez, Gafford, Looney, those kind of guys showing up. Yeah, but it's mostly the Sixers, like Ricky Council and Adam Bonner, stuff like that. Yeah. Smooth saying, I kind of hoping the Raptors stay away from the Rico runs. Yeah, in some ways, I don't think we need to go there. I mean, in the past, it was fun for us to watch and see what's going on. But it's a changing of the guard. And in some ways, our biggest connection to the Rico runs is Siakam, and he's not playing for us anymore. In some ways, do we really want Nick Nurse lurking around our team? I mean, whatever. If we see them, I'll be very happy and we can watch the clips. But in some ways, if Raptors are not participants at Rico runs this summer, I'm not going to be upset. A lot of people might be, though. They might be. Most saying RJ has been doing great work with Puma Hoops lately. Follow them on IG. That's right. The ad campaign with RJ and Puma has been in full effect. Of course, we saw the ad in Dundas, Young and Dundas Square on the outside of the Eaton Center. The beautiful, big, huge Puma ad with RJ featured last week. And then there was a Dylan Brooks ad up there. Well, now he's got some Instagram posts with him working out, and Puma's putting him on blast. That's good stuff. I like seeing that stuff for sure, too. G saying, so I was sitting in a meeting in Yorkville, and Scotty and Mobo walked right by us. I couldn't say anything to them at that moment, but I wanted to. So G is in a meeting in Yorkville in a restaurant. And Scotty and Jomo walked right by him, and he didn't say nothing to him. Wow, man, I know you probably had to worry about your job, but that's crazy, G. That's awesome. Of course, yesterday there was an interview dropped with Jonathan Mobo, and it's a very interesting interview. Talks a long interview. It's about an hour interview, and Mobo's awesome. Like he's very interesting. He's a very smart guy. Let's just put it that way. And a lot of talking about X's and O's in this interview. Talking about his journey, talking about growing up and getting taller at San Francisco and having the guard skills still at his height, talking about how he didn't like contact when he was younger. So he would always jack up threes with really poor shooting mechanics when he was only 5'9". But he made them somehow. It was kind of like that baller's touch, kind of just like throw it up there and it goes in, kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, very interesting interview. The interviewer asked him some silly questions at some point. He's trying to test him on whether he's best friends with Scotty truly. I don't think asking Jonathan what Scotty was wearing at the draft is testing his friendship. That's kind of silly. I thought that question was dumb. I guess this guy S and Samson, they're little clothes horses. They're all in the fashion. I mean, Samson Folk was doing his little game day fit posts for a while where he's showing off the clothes he's wearing. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are into that, but in some ways, Jonathan's like, yeah, I don't fucking know what Scotty was wearing for his suit on draft day. He's like, it's a dumb question. And does that really test whether they're best friends or not? Why wouldn't you ask something better? Like, what's Scotty's favorite dinosaur or something like that? Because Jonathan should know that since they've been little kids since they were kids. Like, ask him cool questions instead of these dumbass questions you asked about testing his friendship. Those questions were so silly, either really simple and dumb, like what are Scotty's dogs' names? You don't think Mobo knows Scott's dogs' names? We all know Scott's dogs' names. We all know Scott's dogs' names. And then, like, what was the other question? I was like, what was this question? Is stupid too. Like, this is so easy. Well, who is the biggest ad campaign this guy's doing right now? Everybody knows he's the Subway. Oh my gosh. Yeah, really dumb questions. If you really want to test their friendship, start asking the real good stuff. In some ways, Jonathan was guarded about revealing too much about Scott. I think they've already kind of worked out that, like, bro, you can't be selling me out. Like in interviews, Jonathan, is what Scotty's probably said to him. And Scotty's probably, and Jonathan's back at him. He's like, you can't sell me out either, Scotty. So don't you say anything weird about when we were little and what we used to do. No, don't tell him about noogies. Don't tell him about noogies. You know, shit like that is probably going on. It's really cool because one of the things that was asked is, have you guys figured out your first play together in the game, Jonathan? And Jonathan said, yeah, this is funny you asked that. We just talked about this. Scotty wants to lob the ball to me and give me an alley-oop for our first basket together. He said, if I come in the game, because obviously Scott's going to be in the game right away. When I finally get to come into the game, Scott's going to look for me, and he's going to lob the ball to me and give me an alley-oop. That's what Mobo said in the interview this week. So, yeah, interesting interview. Jonathan's awesome. Some of his questions were stupid. It's a very long interview. The good stuff's at the end. And, yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm glad Jonathan didn't know what suit Scotty was wearing at the draft. And, like, you're trying to make him look bad. It's like, you know what? You're actually his best friend. I'm just playing with you. I know you're his best friend. Motherfucker, we don't need you to decide whether Jonathan's really best friends with Scotty or not. He knows whether he is or not, and Scotty knows too. I don't know. Silly shit. If I had the chance to interview Jonathan Mobo, I'd be asking him different questions. Trust me. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Let's see. That's awesome, G. Did they look about the same height? This is what I want to know, G. Did Jonathan and Scotty look like they're about the same height when they're walking in Yorkville? I'm wondering too. Like this is something Scotty and Jomo got to think about this summer or this going into the season. They're going to be around each other a lot. Now I know they've been around each other a lot in the past, like when they were living together with Jonathan's mom and going to, as kids, going to practice and stuff like that. But, this is different. This is the NBA. And in some ways, friendships like Pascal and Jakob, you're around each other so much, you may need some time apart. So I'm sure that there's going to be separate time between Scotty and Jonathan to be healthy. Because if they're going to be around each other 24/7, they may get on each other's nerves to a degree, even though they're very much like brothers. And I just hope that they get separate time from each other in the right amount for this season, because we don't want these guys to be upset with each other, right? So yeah, let's see. All right, what else you guys are saying? Yeah, gee, that's awesome, man. I really think they're probably about the same height, right? Most saying, speaking of Jonathan, yeah, he's talking about the interview. She's talking about the interview that I was just alluding to just now. Smooth saying silver is France's gold medal. As long as both the men and women are in the finals, that's all that matters. Not deserving to be there, but that's how it is. Yeah, you know what? That sounds like Smooth accepting life on life's terms, just like I am on this. Well, that's what they wanted. The IOC wanted it. FIBA wanted it. The country of France wanted it. Nike probably wanted it. So that's what they did. That's what they did. The corporations wanted it. They got it. That's really what it is. They want to sell more shoes internationally. And Wemby versus the United States, everybody's like fawning. Oh, it's a dream match. It's a dream match. Y'all wanted this to sell more apparel. I know it's why they did this shit. I know this why. Smooth saying, I feel for Belgium. The women's team is ranked second in the world. Really thought they would be going against the USA. No, you're playing against the home crowd in the home field, and the home team is going to get the home advantage, and they really got to get there because there's no other way. They have to have France against USA in the finals in the gold medal game. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, you can sing, bro. Maybe you should make your intro into your stream using your voice. Sing a chorus, brother, originally. You know what? That's awesome, Randolph. You know what? I appreciate that compliment. It depends on the song. Certain songs I really can sing. I wish y'all would test me more. I still have the open. All right, this is something that old school Raptor freaks know this. And so y'all will probably remember this too. I just haven't said it in a while. I have an open invite to anyone in the chat to make me do an impression or sing a song at any moment. All you have to do is write in impression or song, and I will try and tackle it on here. This is a challenge to me as an improvising streamer every morning for 2 hours. That if you want to see me here, Smooth, if you guys are Randolph, if you have a certain song that you would like to see me try and tackle, as long as it's pretty well known and I can sing a snippet of it, I will try and do it. So y'all test me today. Go ahead. Somebody put in there, I want to see you do an impression of Fred Flintstone. Okay, I'll do an impression of Fred Flintstone. It's like that. It's weird, and I'll do it. And I'll do my best attempt. This is kind of how I do stand-up. I'll get up on stage and I'll say, guys, I do impressions. I'll do whatever you want. And they'll say, be a piece of shit. And I'll get down on the ground and like act like I'm a piece of shit. Seriously. I've done that on stage many times because that's a very popular answer when I do my routine. But yeah, it's a fun thing that I do. And sometimes there's gold, seriously. And I get good ovations because I am a pretty good impressionist. I am. And I love to sing. So seriously, y'all write a song in today. I want to try and do another song because apparently the pipes are sounding good today. But I like your idea, Randolph. Maybe I will sing the intro song somehow, some way. I'll have to compose it. Andrew's saying, I swear when we brought Rico into the Raptors organization, our players stagnated. Woo, that's a allegation, Raptor freak Andrew. That is an allegation. You know what? I don't know if it was Rico. Maybe it was the old NN, the NN hat. Maybe he was stagnating our development the whole 5 years he was our coach. Dwayne Casey brought it all up to the point where the bench mob got the point where they got us the championship. And then after that, well, what did our bench do? No, we had a bunch of good, learned veterans that knew what they were doing. And progress stopped with the appearance of Malachi Flynn. Yeah. I mean, I would say this: Nick Nurse may have hired Rico Hines to come in because he was really hurting in that department and he needed some help right at the end. We got to remember, Rico was only an assistant coach for our team one single year. And it was that last year where Nick was doing everything crazy to fuck up our team. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it was more that other guy, that guy Butthole Face, that stagnated our development on our team over that time. Yeah, Cool Cat saying Canada at 25 medals, and DeGrasse got his gold. Most decorated male athlete in Canada with 7, just like Penny with 7 for the most female decorated athlete. That's right. That's right. That's right. Trevor J saying they're saying that they wanted that matchup, France versus U.S., because the last time the teams meet in the Olympics, U.S. wins. Well, they usually should win that. Seriously. I mean, that's the case. Usually USA's beating everybody in the Olympics. I think that's almost always true. That hasn't been every single time. I think that Argentina and Manu beat them one year. But yeah, that's interesting. Cool Cat saying France versus USA for both men and women basketball is very suspicious. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was the final script writing yesterday, is screwing over the Belgian women. Yeah, that was the final script writing, and people actually watching the game felt like it was screwy. Yeah, yeah, very screwy, very screwy. Smooth saying, "I want it that way." Okay, you want that song? All right, here we go. And it's very apropos. You want it that way? Well, all right, Smooth, you're gonna get it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I don't want to ever feel this way. I want it that way. All right, all right. All right, David's here. On that note, let's get back to serious business. Commissioner of Trivia, David Saborn, is here. He gave me this trophy. It's amazing. And we're going to do the classic card of the day now. And David's going to tell me who's going to win this. We've done that guy before. We're going to switch it. Let me see who this is. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, for some reason, this is a USA basketball card. Okay, that's cool. I don't even know if it's actually the jersey, though. But yeah, all right, here we go. Here we go, guys. Classic card of the day. First person to write the complete name into the chat will get the card points. Who is that? USA Basketball. That's pretty easy, actually. I should bring it back. Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Someone's on this classic card and I'm trolling. Who is that? Who is that? There's 2 people on there, but there's only one that was on USA Basketball. So that should be easy. Yeah, Smooth's got it. That's a Karl Malone card, unfortunately. Yeah. NBA update, USA Basketball, Karl Malone versus Mark West, it looks like. He's giving a nice elbow to Mark West, it looks like. I think that's Mark West. Let me see. It could be Xavier McDaniel or somebody. I don't know. I think that's Mark West. Right in the face. Like, Malone was horrible with the elbows. Not gonna lie. He was really bad. Look at that POS. Look at that guy. That pedophile. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I want to get him off my screen real quick. But yeah, David, adjudicate the points as you shall. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. David's saying that's so random. Wait, Bud Dials first. Olympic officials should go full ass and get France the gold medal. That'd be funny. Like, why not? Maybe they can't break their habit of helping France right now. And they're like, no, you weren't supposed to help them beat USA. No. That would be funny. David said, that's so random. I was singing that song earlier this morning. Haha, nuts. Whoa. There's an earworm out there. I mean, I guess a lot of people like it that way. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty good. You guys like it? Thanks, guys. All right. Give me another one. I feel like I'm got the golden voice this morning, and we're not even at an hour. Maybe we'll get done in an hour, but yeah, let's see. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. That's too easy. Yeah, no points. He's gonna give you 25 points for that. That's all good. Yeah. But Dal's saying, as soon as I logged on, I got Lex singing Backstreet Boys. What did I do to deserve such an amazing treat this morning? Well, I sang a song earlier. And somebody was saying, you should sing your intro song, is what Randolph said. And I was like, yeah, maybe. Like, I have to figure out a good song. Like, it has to have a feel like the Cheers theme songs. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Dun, dun, dun. And you're always glad you came. Dun, dun. I don't know. I need a theme song. I'm going to have to write a theme song, man. Andrew's saying Malone impregnated a 13-year-old when he was in his 20s. That child grew up to be an NFL player. That's pretty cool. I mean, maybe in some ways, in some evil, convoluted, weird ways, like, yeah, what do you mean he did something horrible to that young lady? He gave her a NFL baby. It doesn't sound good still. I mean, let's talk to Cheryl Ford and see how she feels about her dad. Yeah. David's saying, look at Cool Cat's comment. She was singing the same thing. That's interesting. What's up with that, man? That's very, very cool. Everybody's singing. She was saying I was singing that exact same song that way. Awesome. I did miss her comment. Thanks for bringing me back. I appreciate that. Yeah. David's saying Raptor Freak family connected. Yikes. Are we connected through Backstreet Boys like lines? Yikes. All right, let's do the Instagram stories. All right, we got Emmanuel. He is in actually he's not in France at this point. I think he's in Tuscany or something. No, wait, he's in France. He's in France for the time being, but there's a beautiful orange sun, a sunset on his Instagram stories. Very beautiful. And then he's showing some clips from some sort of camp or something. I'm not sure. And yeah, he's saying the wealthiest thing you can have is peace of mind. I love that. I love that. Emmanuel, you're such a man of God and just such a good soul that I'm sure that you can find peace of mind in the most chaotic places because of your faith in God. I know you can. Norman Powell's got a picture of him with some young lady and is saying, "Are we twins?" Go ahead and answer the quiz there. And he's at a youth camp meeting. It's about giving back yesterday. So there you go. Norman Powell has been doing a very busy summer, coming to Toronto for the Pro-Am, and now he's got a youth camp going on. 905 Raptors waiting for the weekend like we the North. Raptor Rewinds at the Raptors. Okay, 905 Raptor, and he's chomping on the usher's head. That guy's a nice guy that he's eating, by the way. He's a nice usher. Lloyd is somewhere in some city on a rainy street. And it's probably New York. That's probably where he is right now. Paul Jones is all over Paris with the tourist pics, him and his wife out there taking all kinds of fantastic pictures. He's on a sidewalk cafe. He's got great food. Beautiful stuff by our great broadcaster, Paul Jones, enjoying his Olympic vacation, watching, taking the games, and then also just enjoying the sights and the wine of France. You go, Paul Jones. And he went on a trip to Canada House and he checked out the Olympic Village Canada House and what was going on in there. Some cool stuff. And he is celebrating with the rest of Canada all the great medals that we got in the successful Olympics this year. Fantastic stuff. It is Precious who is in Tuscany, guys. I apologize. Precious Achua is in Italy, and he's doing his thing out there right now. That's what's going on there. Let's see who else we got. RJ Barrett has got some video of him getting his haircut, and it's the Puma video, Puma Hoops with RJ Barrett. He's putting up left-handed shots like he always does. RJ looks good. Siakam is eating pizza, and he's doing an impression of some internet guy. Siakam likes to do this sometimes. He finds somebody online that he likes, like that he thinks is funny, and he does his own impression of him. So you want to laugh at something Siakam's doing right now, go look at his Instagram stories. It's hilarious. He's like making fun of this dude. Shamshay, in a picture of him with Coach Andrew Jones, getting ready for that 905. This is going to be such an important relationship initially. For the young Cameroonian is going to be his 905 coach, Andrew Jones, a big man coach who's going to be there. That's one of the things I really like about this fit with Andrew Jones coaching 905 is he's a big man coach, and we've got some really, really good potential in our big men that are coming in off the draft this year with Carlson and Shamshay and Mobo. Andrew Jones is going to be fantastic for them as a big man himself. He can relate. So I love seeing the picture of Shamshay and Andrew on his Instagram stories right now. That is a relationship that I want Shamshay to really lean into and get as much gold mined from the great instruction of Coach Jones is what I'll say about that. Jacoby Walter is putting on blast Caleb Lohner of football. I guess he's a friend of his. It looks like a very young player who's coming up. But Walter Jacoby is supporting all kinds of athletes in other sports. And Slim Duck, once again, showing pictures of him and Scotty on his Instagram stories. The connection between him and Scott is strong. I hope this isn't him like saying, I really do love the Raptors. Don't trade me. Don't trade me. Please don't trade me. Yeah. And then he's got a funny thing. T-Pain saying, even though I'm not your man, you're not my girl, I'm going to call you my shorty. Shoddy. All right, here we go. And then we got Jamal Shed. God woke me up again. I'm so grateful. There you go. There's your Instagram stories. Our Raptors are grateful, and they're with their coaches, and they're in international places. There you go. There you go. There you go. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. All right, let's see. Let's see what's else coming here. All right, Smooth wants to hear. This is one that I do really good. I've done this one in the past. I love this song. I used to love this show too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the maid was so good. Marla Gibbs. She was so good. And Sherman Helmsley. He was something else too. All right, let me see if I can do this right. Moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Ooh, moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Little bit of the Jeffersons there. Yeah. Andrew misses Storm and Norman. Yeah, dang, son. Yeah. Randolph saying, Lex, choose the song based on the subject of the day and the mode you're in. This will set the tone before you go off, bro. You know what? This is a fantastic idea, Randolph. I'm gonna have to. This may mean more work, but you know what? Maybe I'll just improvise. Maybe it'll be the song that just pops into my head. I'll just be like, hot-blooded, check it and see. I got a fever of 100 degrees. Come on, baby, don't you do me like that. Hot-blooded, I'm hot-blooded. Yeah. I do some Foreigner. I'll go crazy places. I love classic rock. I'm not going to do many new songs because it'll all be like 80s and 70s songs and maybe some 90s. But yeah, there won't be as many recent songs, but I'll go back there. Yeah. This is a good idea. Randolph, you are very much I'm appreciating your feedback. This is very good feedback. I'm going to probably try and do what you're saying, at least for a little while. If it sticks, hopefully it'll stick. We'll see. Seymour saying he misses Ibaka. Yeah, Ibaka's playing in Spain now. Real Madrid just signed the contract, moving from Germany to Spain to play there. And I'm telling you, Ibaka's going to play till he's 50. This guy's in phenomenal shape for his age. And in some ways, yeah, he's not an NBA player, but he can play professionally for as long as he wants. That dude is a badass, and he takes such good care of his body. You go, Serge Ibaka, Toronto Raptors NBA champion 2019. That's right. Kareem saying, are the Raptors done with Rico, or is Rico done with the Raptors? Well, he's a Sixer. That's all you need to know. He turncoated with Nick. And in some ways, Nick was probably like, oh, Rico, I'm really bad at development. Could you please come to Philadelphia with me? I don't know, Nick. I kind of like it in Toronto right now. No, please come with me. I fired Earl. Why did you do that? He's my friend. I don't know. He went with Nick. And he's Sixers Nation. It's just, I don't get mad at Rico. And the only reason why is because I love the man for what he's done with the Rico runs. And in some ways, he was only coached for us for 1 year. And in some ways, the work he did with Pascal Siakam, thank you, Rico Hines. I'll always be indebted to you. Some people say, well, Nick had stuff right. Look, it's not the same. Nick Nurse sabotaged our team. Now, if Rico Hines was part of that sabotage in that year also, well, shame on him. But for right now, he's Sixers Nation. He ain't got nothing to do with us. He's literally an assistant coach for the Sixers that sits on the bench with Nick Nurse. So does that tell you enough right there? Kareem right there? Yeah. Cool Cat saying, Lex, yeah, Siakam added Italian pizza to his pasta this summer series. Love the non-basketball break from him, showing his fun personality. Yeah, he's such a goofy guy. He's fun. He is fun. That was one of the things that was not revealed anymore in the Mobo interview, is like, tell us more about when you guys were growing up. And Jonathan said, I can't tell you anymore. I'll just say that we were goofy. That's all. We were just goofy. Yeah, Pascal's fun when he's goofy. He has all kinds of funny jokes. Stop playing piano with your life is what he would be saying. Yeah, I love Siakam. He's awesome. Let's see. Cool Cat's saying we have to keep Boucher, at least for Scotty, man. His brothers, Siakam and OG, are gone. Appease his heart a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think Mobo's that guy, and in some ways, they're pinching themselves. That the dream has been realized. That Mobo's made the NBA, and not only that, he's playing for the Raptors next to Scott. See, in some ways, look, I don't know why Chris is continuously posting this. Maybe he is seriously worried about getting traded from the Raptors, and he wants everybody to let it be known, whether it's the fans or the front office, he wants to be in Toronto because he's posting every single day for the last 2 weeks since that Pro-Am happened that Ahmet Gaming went to. A picture of him at that Pro-Am, and he's wearing Raptors practice gear, and he's with Scotty. So, man, in some ways, I want to keep Chris around. I know in some ways they're going to want him to be around for Montreal in the preseason, but in the long term, I don't know what's going to happen with him. If he's worked on more avenues in his game to fit in with Darko's schemes so that he can be more utilized by Rojakovic, then that's good. That's good. So we'll have to see. A lot of it is up to Chris in some ways about what he's training and doing to try and help the Raptors. And if that is his place where he is in his mind, he's like, I need to help the Raptors be better and win more by improving myself. Well, he should be able to stick around, especially if the franchise player is given a really good seal of approval. And like, I love this guy around, but don't get it twisted, Cool Cat. Scotty, in some ways, wants the best team around him, and he will listen to our front office on their decisions. He's seen a lot of good friends go, yeah, but it's a business. And in some ways, they had to go to make room for him. And in some ways, listen, he understands that aspect of it. Sure, he's sad. He wants to talk to OG on the phone. Sure, he's still friends with Pascal and Fred. But Jonathan Mobo is seriously his real close friend. And in some ways, he supersedes all of them just because they wear jammies and ate peanut butter and jelly and watched old movies in the middle of the night, probably. Stuff like that. Yeah. Cool Cat's saying, Lex, having a pipes session. Kudos. Thank you, Cool Cat. Dab. And Cool Cat's saying, Lex, can you sing U2? It's a Beautiful Day. It's one of my favorites. This is a very special song to me, too. U2 has been one of my favorite bands for most of my life. And this song has been pretty popular on the radio around 2000, the turn of the century. It was on all the time. In fact, that song drove me nuts. It was one of these songs where it's like, man, I'm hearing this too much. It's making me sick. But over the last 25 years, it has grown on me. And I actually really love the layered songwriting that U2 did with Beautiful Day. That it is actually a very, very intricate song, if not a pop song that was overplayed on the radio in the summer of 2000. But you want it, you got it. All right, let me see how I should start out with this. Okay. You're on your own, but you got no destination. You're in the road, in the field of your imagination. You love this town, even if that doesn't ring true. You've been all over, and it's been all over you. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Yeah. Touch grass. Take me to that other place. I know I'm not the hopeless case. What you don't have, you don't need it now. What you don't have, you can feel it somehow. What you don't have, you don't need it now. You don't need it now. It's a beautiful day. There you go. See, the thing is, with certain artists, I'll know most of the lyrics. I will fill in some ones. You like the touch grass? I had to put the touch grass in there for sure. Yeah, because it's a beautiful day. You better touch grass, is what they're saying right there. There you go. Bryce is here. Kentucky's in the house. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Didn't know it was a musical today. Yeah, I mean, why not? I guess the pipes are good this morning. Sometimes they're a little, but today they're okay. So we're going to do this a little bit. So yeah, if you guys want more, well, you got me on the air still. I'll still do some more songs. So Cool Cat's saying that Serge Ibaka just won a championship in the German league, and he's collecting them like infinity stones now. Rico was let go because Coach Darko wanted his own people. I think that's very true. I think that Rico had a relationship with Masai And he liked working for Masai. And if Darko had said, I'd like to keep him, he might have stuck around. But then he was in a bad place. And well, Nick probably liked working with Rico in the last year of being at the Raptors. So he said, why don't you just come with me? Why don't you just come with me? So I think that's how it kind of went down. We wanted to keep him. He was an NBA draft coach and scout for us. Yeah. Yeah. Rico's a great asset. I don't diss Rico Hines. I think Rico Hines is a great coach, a really, really good coach. Yeah, Seymour's saying thank you for the info. Andrew's saying Chris needs to improve his playmaking if he wants to stay a Raptor. I think that's the nail on the head right there, Andrew. I'm going to give you a dunk for a very astute observation. That's exactly right. Andrew, you're going to get a three-pointer, actually. You're going to get a DeMar DeRozan 10, my guy, is where you're at. I think that's exactly right. I think that he needs to pass more and be a better passer. In some ways, some people would say put the ball on the floor and dribble a little bit better. Nah, I don't know if that's exactly right. I think he needs to be able to pass it to the next guy better. And in some ways, if he gets better with that, that may help him. That may help him a lot. Orrin Weisfeld actually is arguing that Chris Boucher might have helped Team Canada. And I just don't agree with him. I mean, I know that he's saying that because of his three-point shooting. Now, if Trey Lyles was going to play a non-physical, sorry-ass game like he did at the Olympics, like we knew he was going to do that, I would have preferred Boucher over him. Because in some ways, Trey Lyles did exactly what Boucher would have done when he played for Team Canada Olympics. In some ways, the physicality was shied away by him, and he lofted a bunch of threes. And in some ways, Chris could have just done that, and he probably would have made the threes. So I don't know. I'm not agreeing with people when they say Chris Boucher would have helped Team Canada, because in some ways his game is not FIBA once again. And we don't need him for a guard. Is he going to play guard for us? Because he's not going to be able to do anything physically around the basket in the right way. Maybe. I don't know. It's so weird. What you got to wonder why Chris has never, ever been involved other than the undergroups when he was younger in Team Canada basketball. That was the only time. He was never involved in senior men's, ever. So you got to wonder about that. You got to wonder about that. Seymour saying, after Dylan Brooks' poor showing in the last game, would you still entertain the trade Bruce Brown for Dylan Dillon? Oh, of course. You know, I think that what happened with Dylan against France was he was one of the guys who got hit with the hit job the hardest by the officials, because we know Dylan and Lugetz are very physical, contact-oriented defenders. And, well, they cut the nuts off them by throwing 2 fouls early on Dylan Brooks, and he can't play as physically. In some ways, it's harder for him to get his mojo working and get going offensively when he can't work the way he likes to aggressively on the defensive end. So I feel like if we're talking about that France game and any kind of ref hit job on the down low with extra fouls for Canada versus France, well, Dylan Brooks felt the brunt of it the most, is what I would say. So, yeah, I would still very much welcome that trade and Dylan in a Raptors uniform for Bruce Brown. Yeah, I would. Milbester's here. We've got Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is in the house. And not only that, it's our New York #1 fan, Knicks freak. Milbester's here. Good morning, Lex. How's Canada's Olympics? Well, we've had our most successful Olympics in a non-boycott year. Shocked they didn't get to the bronze medal game, but I expected U.S. for France versus France for gold medal. Really? You expected that? Yeah, I don't think most people expected that. But I guess the script writing, people should have understood there was going to be script writing. Dominican Republic finally won a gold medal game, a gold medal women's 400-meter medley, Marilyn Paulino. Well, congratulations to DR for getting a gold. Fantastic stuff. Such a small country, such a great baseball country, but baseball's not in the Olympics anymore. So in some ways, that's maybe the best chance for Dominican Republic to medal is in baseball, but baseball's not an Olympic sport this year. Very interesting about that. Yeah, Cool Cat's saying, yes, Lex, thank you. Great job. Raptor Free crew, fire. Got lots of talent. Yeah, you like how I really do know that song, and I started at a different spot. Most people would just come in and say, it's a beautiful day. No, I led into it, and I build it, and I even put a little improvisation in it. That's right. That was just for you, Cool Cat. Seymour saying, they got to figure something out with Chris, for real. I don't want to see him warming towels in seats at the end of the bench looking like part of the crowd. Well, listen, if there's 3 possibilities, actually there's tons, but let's say these are the 3 possibilities. Chris is on the team. He gets played, like you're saying. Ideally, that's exactly what happened. He's a Raptor. He's in the rotation. He gets to play regularly, but he's on our team. That's fantastic. That's exactly what you and I want. That's what I want to. He's on the team, but he isn't in the rotation, but he's still on the Raptors. I want that too, because I just want him on the Raptors. But if he isn't playing for whatever reason, you cannot act like this. There's no guarantees in the NBA that you are going to get to play. And even if it seems like he's wasting his life, well, he's not. He's got 2 NBA championships already. He's a G League MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and a G League champion, I believe, too. No, he isn't. Maybe not. But he's accomplished. In some ways, he's making millions of dollars. In some ways, he gets to live the NBA lifestyle, and he gets to do it in Canada. So come on, let's not get it all twisted in here. Because in some ways, everybody's career is different, and it ebbs and flows with playing time. And it's if Darko does not want to use him and he sits on the end of the bench, people do not need to get all bent out of shape like they did last season. That pissed me off. Honestly, people were getting mad at Darko just because they were doing free Boucher campaigns. Listen, let the coach the team. And if he decides he wants to play him, he'll play him. If he doesn't, well, so be it. That's just how it is. And he's in the NBA. He makes millions of dollars. He's already an accomplished player. So don't feel bad for him. Seriously. His life is good. In some ways, he's got a young child that is so amazing and beautiful. And in some ways, that's something so happy for him. And he's in Toronto. He's in Canada. And he's a teammate of Scotty Barnes. So let's just let Darko coach this team. And let's not preemptively get mad if Chris Boucher is not a part of our rotation. There's in some ways, once again, he's an older player, and we're rebuilding with youth. And as much as Gary Trent just went to the Milwaukee Bucks, Chris is not gone, thank God. And I'd like to keep him around even if he's Udonis Haslem. How about that? In some ways, he can be on the bench and be a great captain kind of player around the team and showing leadership like Garrett Temple. So, I mean, I get it. Some ways you're like, he's in his prime of his career. He needs to be out there playing and utilizing it. Well, he is. It's just that half of the NBA is just like a tip of the iceberg. Iceberg has a lot under the water we don't see. The stuff on the court is the stuff we see. Well, there's a lot of stuff at practice. There's a lot of stuff that he's doing behind the scenes that's helping the team, even if he's not getting in the game as much. So we got to be flexible on this. And as long as he's on the Raptors, I'll be happy. Milbester saying, Lex, did you see Brunson's captain of the Knicks? Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday for like 1 second because that's a Knicks news. And I don't have nothing to do with the Knicks other than when I have to do talking about them because of the Raptors. So I don't really care about it. But yeah, MSG had a press conference for Brunson's captain, and it was awesome. Former Knicks and his teammates, everyone is there to celebrate. Well, that's great. Why don't you go find the Knicks Freak channel? And y'all can talk about that for an hour. How about that? Bud Dow's saying the breakdancing. Oh, the breakdancing. That's right. The breakdancing was atrocious. And will be the last time the Olympics do that shit. Ray Gunn was hilarious, though. Wait, it wasn't that good? Like, it wasn't that good? It wasn't like there was nobody doing the robot? That's probably why it wasn't good. You got to have the robot. That guy from Dave Chappelle's show, he was awesome. The robot guy. Oh, man, that's too bad. I really want this to take breakdancing at the Olympics. But you're saying it was horrible? Man, that's too bad. I don't like that. G's saying, yes, they look similar in height, but Scotty looked a bit taller. He was in a full tracksuit, and it was hot out. Probably just finished practice. Good info, G. With the Scotty and Jay sighting out in the public, in the wild of Yorkville, seeing Scotty Barnes and Jonathan Mobo in public. The G sitting at a table, wanted to say something. So Mobo looks slightly shorter than Scott. Okay. Because I'm wondering how much they're going twin as far as their height. I mean, Scotty's really like 6'9". There's always been that summer speculation about Scotty's height. How tall are you, Scotty? If he gets on Twitch later tonight, because he usually goes on Saturday nights, should we ask Scotty how tall he is right now? If anybody gets a chance to see Scotty on Twitch, we need to ask Scotty, how tall are you right now? Because it's kind of like a rite of summer now that we ask Scotty, how tall are you in his Twitch stream? And he always tells us something different. It's like, I don't know. They've been telling me I'm 6'7". The NBA lists me at 6'7", but I feel 6'9". Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how tall Scott is. He could be 7 foot for all I know at this point. We need to ask him personally. Yeah, we do. Andrew saying, I hope Zach Edey develops into something special so Canada have a true anchor. I agree with this completely, Andrew. Yeah, we need Zach to get more established in the NBA as a very skilled player and better. And boom, it will help Canada a lot. Just be cool, Zach, and show up in the future. I know it's your rookie year, and that's why you missed the Olympics. But boy, did we miss you at the Olympics, and we need you there. That's right. Milbester, you're going to continue to talk about Brunson. I'm going to skip your comment. How about that? We're not Knicks Nation here. In some ways, congratulations, Jalen Brunson, on being the Knicks captain. How about that? There you go. Tobias is here. Good to see Tobias Frost is back. Tobias is going to be coming to Toronto later this month to visit the great city, the 416. He's going to be in the 6, taking in the views and checking out a Blue Jays game, going to Wonderland. Tobias, good to see you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, sir. I hope you're having a great start to your Saturday. Mobester saying 2028 baseball is back at the Summer Olympics in LA. Okay, so baseball will be back. It's just that the French hate baseball, obviously. Oh, no, we will have the Olympics, but no baseball here. Please, no. Ugh, gross. Is that what happened? Because I understand, like, the last Olympics wasn't in Japan or something or China. They had baseball. They didn't have baseball at this Olympics, but they're going to have it at the next Olympics? Oh, that's kind of weird. Maybe there was no baseball infrastructure in France or something like that. Don't give them bats. They like to go into revolutions. All right, let's see. Milbester's also saying this is the first Summer Olympics I ever watched, and it made me sad that my favorite sport, baseball, wasn't there. That's what I'm saying. You got to blame the French for this one. Yeah, I'm sure you got to blame them. Yeah. MLB working on schedule tweaking for it. Yeah, they got to figure out the tweaking for that. All these big major sports got to tweak it. In fact, I want to remind everyone who's in our WNBA Fantasy League, we will resume play on the 15th. So that's later this week. In 5 days, we will be starting up the Fantasy League and our WNBA as the women from the Olympics return and take to their WNBA squads for the stretch run of the WNBA season. So be ready, WNBA fantasy managers. We will resume play in our league that's been paused for the Olympics on the 15th, just so y'all know. That's right. There you go. Let's see. What do you, Milbester? I don't care about New York captains. So I hate most of those names on your list. So I'm just going to skip over that comment. Okay. And there you go. All right, let's keep going. Andrew saying, I still can't believe ESPN didn't put Scotty on the 2028 mock Olympic American team. He'll definitely make the team in 2028. I hope so. There's a silly thing that Trevor posted in our chat a couple days ago where somebody made a joke that since Scotty wasn't on that mock draft, that he's decided he's going to become Canadian and play for Team Canada. I mean, that would be fantastic if Scott did that, but I doubt he'd do that. He is very much proud of his roots in USA basketball and the underage groups and the gold medals he's won at that level. He's going to want to win one like these guys are going to win one today. And hopefully it will be on the next cycle, like you're saying, 2028. Yeah, you know what this is, Andrew. This is just the biased ass US media putting a shadow over Scott because in some ways they want to try and make him feel like he doesn't want to play for Toronto and so that he'll leave and go to an American team. This has always been the playbook by the media to hurt the Raptors is that you don't give a spotlight or make any kind of shine or anything for them unless you absolutely begrudgingly have to, like Siakam or Van Vliet or Anunoby at a certain point. Yeah, all right, we'll recognize these guys. But for the most part, they'll ignore them and they'll put other people. And even USA Basketball might do this to an extent. But Scott should be so overwhelmingly good in the next 4 years. I'm going to agree with your prediction right here that he's going to be there anyway. Yeah. And let's not hold our breath that Scott's going to represent Canada, Canadian fans. That's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. I wish it would. It'd be awesome. It'd be so awesome if he did do that. But it's not likely. Come on now. It's not likely. Seymour saying, yo, Milbester, F the Knicks, Nets, Sixers, Celtics, respectfully, and the Giants and the New York Giants. Fuck them. Fuck the New York Jets. Fuck the Yankees. Fuck the Mets. Fuck the Devils. Fuck the Rangers. Fuck the Islanders. Yeah. Is there any more New York teams I can say fuck them? Because I'll say fuck all of them. All of them. Every single one of the damn New York teams can go fuck off. And Milbester, seriously, we don't give a shit about New York sports here. They can fuck off, is what I'll say right there. Yeah, there you go, Seymour. I'm gonna give you a dunk for bringing that up, and let me say that real quick. Yeah, Seymour's gonna get a dunk. He's at 111. 111 for Seymour. Seymour Pape. That's right. Yeah. Wayne's saying, Sergeant Wayne Strainer's in the house. Good to see Wayne here. France has never been in so many finals ever. Almost every activity they were representing. Talk about script writing. I'm telling you, they're greedy. They're greedy. You could have gotten away with just doing the script writing for Wemby to get him there, but you had to do the women's too. You had to do the volleyball too. You had to do this. You had to do that. You had to script write every which way for France. Is it really that, like, oh, I'm in my home country and I need to do even better so I get even higher up? I don't know about that. In some ways, I want to do this fairly, engaging France's prominence in their own Olympics. But for some reason, it doesn't seem like it's all right. It seems like there's a lot of fishiness. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, yeah. Most saying W stream, W vibes. Keep at it always, Lex. Good times. Good times are approaching. Good times are almost there. Strong, Raptor Freak strong forever. Let's go. Let's go. There's my cutoff. Yeah, we're going to do a Sunday report tomorrow. I'm not sure what it'll be on. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in the next day or so. This afternoon, I'll figure it out and I'll post it. So yeah, tomorrow, Sunday special report. Something I'll be reporting on. I'm not totally sure what it'll be. We'll figure it out. Tobias is saying, hopefully baseball is back in 2028. Overall, the Olympics have been a gong show throughout the whole thing with how the athletes have been treated. Yeah, there's been a lot of mistreatment and unfairness. There's been a lot of weird shit. You know, one of the things I found out yesterday is that Paris, shipped 12,500 homeless people out of Paris before the Olympics, displaced them, took them away from the city so that they wouldn't look so bad with their homeless problem in Paris. And they took them on buses to all cities all across France. And they're saying that these people will just migrate back to Paris afterwards. The other thing that they're saying about this is a lot of the housing for the Olympics, the Olympic Village, and different infrastructure that's built for these Olympics, France has pledged to turn around and make it affordable housing for maybe hopefully some of these people they displaced before these games. So yeah, this is a bad look in some ways, but I get it. You don't want international guests coming for the Olympics seeing your homeless problem in Paris. In some ways, this is the same economic problem that's happening in this continent, in this city of Toronto, and in the cities across the United States, that the rent is too high and people are too fucking greedy. And that housing, it should be a basic right for people to live in, and no one should be homeless. So let's get these fucking greedy motherfuckers out of here and get more housing that's cheap for people to live in. I don't even care how nice it is. Just let them have somewhere to have a roof over their heads and some shelter. Basic rights and needs like water, food, and a housing, it should be for everyone in this world. We are a rich humanity at this point. We have more than enough for everyone. But we got greedy ass motherfuckers hoarding it like smog on a big pile of gold. Once again, this is the problem right here. So yeah, the homeless problem in Paris, yeah, you can make it go away temporarily for 2 weeks while you host some convoluted games. But those people will come back. And hopefully you will convert the old dormitories for the Olympic athletes into housing for these people so they're not sleeping outside. All right, let me keep going in the chat. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's see. Andrew's saying, I can't wait for Toronto to get a WNBA team. I'm definitely going to get more into the WNBA, another basketball team to be passionate about. Yes, Andrew, I'm with you on this. I'm going to give you another dunk. Andrew, you're on fire today. I'm with you on this completely. I'm going to give you a three-pointer. You got the 13. You got the who's a 13? The Doug Christie 13 or Steve Nash 13, I guess. Yeah. I would say this. It's true. In some ways, I had a deep understanding of the WNBA in the beginning, when it was like the Comets and the Liberty and Cynthia Cooper and all that. I really kind of followed it then. And I knew all the players in the beginning. But then I stopped watching it for majority of the time. But now I'm going to jump back into it at this point with Toronto's team coming in. And I'm going to treat it just like how I treat the Raptors. Now, there's going to be a gap in my knowledge of WNBA players because I haven't paid as closely attention. But when I hit the ground running and I'm really paying attention to it, that with our team and playing games, I'm going to get this knowledge down, and I will be very, very good at covering this team in the next couple of years. You're going to see it because I take this I get obsessive. And Andrew, I'm with you. I'm really excited about having another team to root for also. Yeah, Seymour saying, which Raptor departure hurt the most, Lex? Man, since our championship team, which departure hurt the most? You know what? I'm going to tell you guys right now, and a lot of people may disagree with me. It's Fred. It's Fred. It's Fred. Because in some ways, Fred was that captain after Kyle that took up for Kyle after he left. So Kyle's absence didn't hurt as much. I'm not going to say Kawhi because fuck Kawhi and his choice. Mark and Serge both hurt really bad too. But I think it's Fred. I think that really things went really bad after Fred went to Houston last summer. And then in some ways, the connectivity between Siakam and Schroeder and Anunoby and Barnes and what happened last fall was the absence of Fred. So I'm going to say this, and I'll stand on this, and all the Fred haters can kiss my ass. Fred VanVleet is the person that left from our championship team that has hurt the most in the last 5 years. I'll say that right now. Yeah, and people don't have to believe me. They're going to say, what are you talking about? It's Kawhi, man. No, dog. It's Fred. And I would say, some people would say, well, what about Kyle? Well, Kyle, it didn't hurt when Kyle left because Fred was still here. So, yeah, I'm going to say it's Fred, man. I'm going to say it's Fred. Seymour's just saying F the Buffalo Sabres. Nah, I mean, I guess. Why not? But not the Bills, right? But not the Bills. Yeah, Mobester's saying the weather was awful all week in the Northeast with Hurricane Debbie. I was at two. Okay, I don't care about that, and I don't care about that either. Yeah, who names the hurricanes? They named them Debbie. They should name that Hurricane Exxon. Yeah, name the Hurricane Exxon. Name the Hurricane Shell. Name the Hurricane Shell. Name the Hurricane David Koch. Yeah, David Koch. Yeah, name the hurricanes after the motherfuckers who caused them. That's what I say. Name them after the oil companies. Name them after the rich-ass motherfuckers who are polluting the air and making the hurricanes stir up. That's what I say. Don't stop naming them after snack cakes. Stop naming them after snack cakes. Name them after the people responsible for them. I've seen that meme online lately. I'm like, yeah, let's get behind this. You know how PBS programming, this is sponsored by the Schwab Group. Yeah, this hurricane sponsored to you by Coke Industries. That's what they should be doing. Seriously. Andrew's saying, I hope Lowry signs with Toronto next year. I was surprised he re-signed with Philly. He'd be a great vet for IQ. Yeah, for IQ, meaning like IQ on our court and Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know what? Lowry will sign with us, but it's going to be for one day. He's not going to play, y'all. Seriously. If he comes back to Toronto, he'll sign a one-day contract and retire as a Raptor, as he's promised. But I don't see him coming back and actually playing for us. I mean, it'd be nice, and if it could happen, I'd be all for it. But I just don't see this happening. I just don't think it's likely. I don't think it's very likely. Because we're in a different mode now. And in some ways, Kyle, does he want to show up and be on the Raptors like he was in 2013 in the very beginning again? Because that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now with our roster build. And in some ways, he's Father Time's passing him. And in some ways, he needs to go for teams where he can try and get another ring. And unfortunately, Philly's more like that than we are at this point. So let's see. Kareem saying at Seymour, I was devastated when Pascal left, but it was for a great reason. They knew that hurt the most was Damon Stoudemire for me. He was a young Raptor then. Okay, you're talking about way before. I was talking about just in this recent time. I mean, if you really want to talk about the one that was the most devastating in the whole history of the Raptors is Vince. Because he destroyed our team when he left, and then he came back and shat all over it too as a Brooklyn Net. So, yeah, it's Vince. If you really want to go all time, the worst departure that hurt the most, it's Vince Carter. Of course it's Vince Carter. There's no other question. Chris Bosh is ranking up high there too. Milbester's saying, Tobias, it will. Baseball is growing internationally. New baseball league in the Middle East. I don't care about baseball. Man, Milbester, you do not stay on topic. You really don't. Seymour's saying, when Mighty Mouse left, it sucked, but I didn't really understand stuff at the time. I didn't care about that because in some ways, Damon was an Isaiah guy. And he said in this interview that we found recently that Monique shared that at that time he didn't realize how good he had on the Raptors, that he made a mistake when he left at that time. He only left the Raptors because he was Isaiah loyal. Isaiah Thomas got kicked out as the president of the Raptors, and all of a sudden Damon was mad about that. But he didn't realize, and he regrets this, he didn't realize he was the franchise player for us, and that he didn't have to go just because Isaiah went. And that's the only reason why he raised a stink. And he ended up going to Portland. And it was the worst thing for him. He went home. In some ways, he knew going back to Portland was a mistake, because when he went to Portland, he was just another player. He wasn't a star on that team. He was just a role player. He was the franchise face in Toronto, and he walked away from that. And to this day, he regrets that. He said that. Damon Stoudemire very much regrets the rash decision to want to leave the Raptors just because Isaiah was gone all of a sudden. So he didn't have to do that. He realizes now in hindsight, and that he messed up, because he could have been on a team with Marcus Camby and Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. And he realizes that could have been a very good team. So, yeah, I wasn't upset about it, because I really was. I loved the trade, because Walt Williams came to our team. And so, or no, Walt went with them. No, we got Gary Trent Sr. and Alvin Williams in that trade for Walt Williams and Damon Stoudemire. And Alvin Williams was a badass right away, and I was really happy to get Alvin. So in some ways, I was like, Alvin became a more important Raptor to me than Damon Stoudemire very quickly. And so that helped things a lot. And Trent Sr. came that way also, just so y'all know. That's how we got Gary's dad. Wayne's saying, how can Puerto Rico represent as a country? Aren't they a non-voting state or some nonsensical arrangement in the U.S.? Talk about empire. This is an interesting point by Wayne, and this is something I never really thought that deeply about. It's true. Puerto Rico represents itself, but it is a commonwealth of the United States. There's still a push in some ways to make it the 51st state. In some ways, the aid that's been given to them from the United States very shittily by Trump during his administration during that hurricane they had could have been more help from FEMA if they were more ensconced officially as a state in the United States. I don't know. Maybe Puerto Rico doesn't want statehood, because then their talent would just go into the pool of the United States. It's a similar kind of thing to countries like Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, where their talent pool went to the USSR during communism in the Soviet Union. So I don't know. It's interesting you use the word empire, because that's true. That's true. That's a very apropos word for this. But yeah, I don't know. I'll bet you Puerto Rico in some ways doesn't want to become a full-fledged state, but in some ways they do. And this may be the way that they'd have to give up being their own independent competition for stuff like the Olympics. Is that what happens if they are a state all of a sudden? Does Puerto Rico go away from the international competing stage? Very interesting thought exercise, Wayne. I'm going to give you a dunk for making me think outside the box with a very interesting conundrum. I don't understand it. I know that in some ways they're better off becoming a part of the states, because they'll get better taken care of in some ways. But also at the same time, like, they want to still have their own national identity. 55. You got DeLon Wright number now, Wayne. 55. There you go. Yeah, let's see. Seymour's saying, wow. Yeah, he's looking at that. Wow, yeah. And Wayne's saying, please ignore Milbester. No wonder you're occupied. Yeah, it's all good. Let's see. Milbester's saying, Wayne, any island territory can be represented in the Olympics. Fiji and other smaller nations were represented too. No, but Milbester, you don't understand. He's saying that there's a special arrangement between the United States and Puerto Rico that makes them a commonwealth of the United States. So in some ways, they are connected to the U.S. It's kind of like the U.S. Virgin Islands. Guam is another place that's similar to this. So there is kind of this arrangement, and that's a very interesting question by Wayne. This isn't like Fiji. Fiji is their own place, and they don't have this kind of connection. Tobias saying, how does the expansion draft work for the new WNBA team? I'll bet it'll be very similar to NBA expansion drafts in the past, where each of the existing WNBA franchises will be allowed to protect maybe like 5 or 6 players. And then everybody else that's on their teams is open to be plucked to the new teams for Golden State and us. Now they're coming in the year before us, so they're going to have to do a weird two expansion drafts in 2 different years, unless somehow we get sped up and we're coming in next year also, and we're getting to draft two. But I don't think that's the case. So they'll do two separate expansion drafts, one for the Valkyries and one for the unnamed Toronto team also in the year after. So the great test for this, Tobias, is let's see how they handle the Golden State WNBA team, and that will be pretty much the same way they'll handle us the next year. So yeah, Milbester's saying, no, I don't care about that, dude. I don't care. All right, Milbester, I'm gonna start skipping you. I'm serious. All right. Andrew's saying maybe Lowry can join our coaching staff when he retires. I don't know. Like we've talked about Lowry, whether he'll coach or not. He said publicly in interviews he can't stand the attitude of the young players, and that they would drive him nuts. Like if he was supposed to be in charge, he wouldn't have any patience for them. So I don't think it's likely that Kyle Lowry will become a coach. If he does, well, I was wrong. But I think it's more likely that Kyle Lowry is going to become a golfer, that he's going to go and become like a pro golfer at some level if he can. If he's good enough and he can play professional golf, he will do that. Watch. I'll bet you money that's what he'll do. He'll either do that, he'll be a pro-am golfer and do celebrity tournaments like all the time, year round, and he'll be involved with his golf bag company, and he'll do more of that kind of stuff. I don't see him coaching. I'm honest, being honest here. Lowry would be a good coach, sure, but he probably would hate it because he's the kind of guy that would get really irritated with other people. He got mad at Kawhi during our championship year because Kawhi was being traded differently. So he doesn't have a lot of patience like y'all think he does. He doesn't. He really doesn't. And you have to have a lot of patience if you're a coach. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's see. What else did you guys say? Trevor's saying, why am I seeing rumors about D'Angelo Russell linked to the Raptors? I don't know. They're probably just rumors. The only reason why you're seeing that, Trevor, is because D'Angelo Russell earlier this summer on Twitter said, I'm in Toronto. Link me up with some runs. He wanted to go and play pickup basketball in Toronto. He was asking people where to play. And then Scotty said, hey, if you find out, let me know because I want to come too. I think that Russell is just like Jimmy Butler last summer, and he wanted to be in Toronto because it's a great city to be in the summer, and he's just hanging around. And, well, Raptors fans are bored. They like to speculate. Maybe some of them are idiots, and they actually want Russell on our team. That's probably where it is. It's Raptors fans making shit up is what it is. Unless I see something official from Grange or Lewenberg or Blake Murphy or something like that, I ain't going to put any weight into D'Angelo Russell to the Raptors because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Andrew's saying, Trevor, I think it's because Russell's playing pro-am games here. Yeah, that's exactly it. He was around the city. He wanted to play some pickup ball, and he said something on Twitter about Toronto pickup ball. So all these people are like doing Winders thing that's stupid, that doesn't make any sense to connect. But I was saying Kyle needs to sign a 1 day and take one charge for one time's sake. That would be monumental. I like that. I like that. All right, Kareem. That's a sentimental kind of comment for a Raptor freak to make. And you know what? We'll do that. I've often said if we're going to have a Kyle Lowry statue outside of the Air Canada Center / Scotiabank Arena, it should be one of him taking a charge or getting ready to take a charge. You know what I'm saying? All right, Kareem, we're going to give you a dunk for that. The dunk leader does get a dunk today. 219, buddy. 219. He's up there. He is up there. Let's see. Most saying, glad you love the Damon interview so much, Lex. Yeah, Damon's such a smart guy. He's really, really intelligent. And it was interesting to hear him talk about why he went to Portland and how it didn't work out the way he thought. And it was really not the best move for him in his career. He also elaborated on the Jail Blazers and that name, and him and his own charge of marijuana being in the vehicle with Rasheed Wallace in the Hummer, getting pulled over and getting a marijuana charge. And that part of why they called them the Jail Blazers, with Isaiah Ryder and all them being goofy over there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Blackhawks saying Puerto Rico wants independence. Yeah, I would see that. I mean, in some ways, they like the arrangement, the proximity of that island to the United States, and the United States helping them. In some ways, they brokered that Commonwealth status so that it is easier for the U.S. to get stuff to them if they are in trouble. So it has been a very beneficial relationship for Puerto Rico, but also at the same time, I'm sure they do want their independence and their own independent feel and the culture in some ways. Americans want people to assimilate. You come here, you better be American. It's very unlike Canada. In Toronto, we allow people from all around the world to try and keep their own identity culturally and speak their own language, have their own foods and stuff. But in the States, they want you better start talking American. You come into our country. It's that kind of shit. So who knows? Carlos saying, morning, fellow freaks. Morning ain't complete without you, Lex. Thank you, Carlo. That's very sweet of you to say, Raptor Freak Carlo. And Andrew saying the Valkyries is a sick name. Dang. Yeah, it's a very good name for the Warriors, seeing as female Warriors are Valkyries. And that's who they have, the Golden State Valkyries. And their color is going to be purple, apparently. So yeah, that's the motif for the new expansion team for the WNBA for that city, San Francisco, is the Golden State Valkyries. Yeah, it's a pretty good name. I like it too. Yeah. Yeah. Trevor's saying, I love my motorcom. My motorcom? All right. Seymour saying Lowry statue, him taking charge. I know. It just makes sense. And this will be down the road. It has to be after he retires. And you know what? It should maybe coincide with the jersey retirement. Maybe, yeah. Kareem saying Puerto Rico is Americanized and they needed it, but now free the Ricans. Free the Ricans. Well, I mean, I don't know how Americanized it is as far as culture on the island, but there's a lot of Puerto Rican people that have come to New York City and other major cities across the United States that become very assimilated to American customs. Yes. Cool Cat saying, yes, Lowry would be a celebrity golfer. He's really good at it. One of his sons also plays golf. Yeah, I think that's more likely. He said in interviews, I said, I don't have no patience for these knuckleheads. In some ways, I don't want to be in charge of trying to get these guys in line. He sees the new generations and how they're coming up. And in some ways, that's not appealing to him. It really isn't. Seymour saying, if I was in Toronto, I'd be by Q Beach right now. I need a pool. Too damn hot. Yeah, there's a lot of great places to swim around Toronto. A lot of good public beaches. Of course, you can go down to public pools. Also, in a lot of areas, they get the splash pads out for the little kids, turn them on. They got the lifeguards out there for the city of Toronto, watching the little kids in the splash pads and parks across Toronto. Yeah, there's a lot of good places to stay cool in the city. It's actually quite cool here right now. It's cooled off with some rain, at least out here where I'm at, north of the city. It's a nice, beautiful, perfect day. Not too hot and not too cold at all. It's just absolutely perfect weather. You don't feel like you're sweating and you can sit outside. And you know what? The mosquitoes are not bugging us either, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Carlos saying Russell's girlfriend lives in the GTA. That's right. You said that before. That's part of why D'Angelo Russell's in Toronto is because he has a lady friend that resides in the city. So stop overreacting, Raptors Nation, and think, oh, D'Angelo Russell. Why do we want D'Angelo Russell? He's a low percentage shooter that's high usage that has lost everywhere he's went. Why would you want him on the Raptors? Like any logical person. Some people will look at this and be like, oh, he's a scorer, Lex. He could be our shooting guard on the team with everybody. It would be so good. No. You know what he's going to do? He's going to take shots away from guys we want to get development with, like Jacoby Walter and Grady Dick. So no, non-starter. D'Angelo Russell, he wants to be a Laker. He wants to stay on the Lakers, but they don't want him, so they're shopping him. But we don't need him here. We don't need him here. I deny him coming here just like I deny Zach LaVine and other people in the past. We don't need him here. He's going to take away from the young development of our shooters if he shows up here. And he won't shoot as well as them. Watch. He'll shoot like 30% from the field, and he'll take like 20 shots a game. Who wants that on their team? Seriously, come on now. Come on now. That's right. Yeah, no to Russell. We need off-ball shooters, not a ball-dominant guards. Boom goes the dynamite. That's it right there. Carlo JS, you get a dunk for that one. He just said it right there. He said it right there. That's exactly right. 38 dunks for Carlo on the dunk sheet. That's right. Let's keep going. Tobias is saying at Raptor Street, I'll be staying in Richmond Hill when I'm in Toronto. That's good because you're north of the city. Then I don't have to come all the way downtown. Maybe I should go to Wonderland with you, my guy. Maybe I should. You said you're with your girlfriend, right? Well, I don't want to be a third wheel if you're walking around and doing touristy stuff in Toronto with your girlfriend. So I don't know. In some ways, we'll have to figure this out, Tobias. We were in an email. We'll talk more about it. In some ways, I'm really busy until the 18th. But after the 18th passes, I will be freed up. So Neil's saying not all Puerto Ricans see it as a help, and their votes don't have weight for a presidential run. Yeah, their votes don't really count. They don't get electoral votes in the electoral college, that most fabricated bullshit way that the Americans elect their president. Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I mean, it's not really. It is help though. Even if that idiot was throwing paper towels to people like he did that one time, like ooh, 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 goofing around. No, United States has very much helped Puerto Rico at different times when they were in trouble from storms hitting them. So they've been very helpful to them. It's just the truth. In some ways, they haven't been as helpful as they could, and there have been problems where people haven't gotten power back or this or that. But it is what it is. It depends on who's president at that time. And they had a calamity while Trump was president. They didn't get as much help as they would have if it had been a different president. Trust me. Yeah. Wayne saying, Christian Coloco, why is the NBA playing with us? Do we have an open slot? Brandon is not guaranteed, so we're still flexible. Brandon. Who are you talking about, Brandon? Brandon. You mean Bruno Fernando? I don't know. Oh, Brandon Carlson? No, he's guaranteed. Brandon Carlson is a two-way. He's on our team, Wayne. He's going to be playing for 905 and the Raptors for sure because he's a signed two-way. Our three two-ways right now are DJ Carton, Brandon Carlson, and Ulrich Shumshay. Those are our three two-ways. And those are all three guys that are going to be playing for both teams this year. It's already set up. Carlson is guaranteed. He's on the two-way. He's on the two-way. Christian has not been figured out. I talked about this in the last day or so because more news came out. Aaron Rose given the deets that the Right to Fitness panel is still deliberating Christian Coloco's status on whether he's healthy enough to play in the NBA. That it's going to take a couple weeks, apparently, because they're going to test him multiple times with trying to see results in the progress and the results over a couple weeks. So if his certain counts go down and certain things look right in his blood, he will be allowed. And I've speculated that the announcement from that fit to play panel will come before the end of August. I would say it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. We will know the verdict and determination of the status of Coloco's ability to play in the NBA in the next 2 weeks. It's just, I thought it was coming sooner because it's like, oh, just come see them, show them the paperwork from the doctors, and this is how it is. And they're like, okay, it looks all good. But no, apparently they want to do the medical investigation beyond just Coloco's private doctors and make sure themselves. So they are doing testing on him over a month at least to figure out whether he is ready to play or not. So it still hasn't been determined, and it's still being deliberated by that panel. But they should have a judgment by the end of August, from what I'm hearing. So yeah. Okay, Tobias saying yes. Just send me a PM. We'll figure it out. In some ways, we don't need to do it through the channel. We'll keep it private. Yeah. Wayne saying my mistake. Donovan is the right person. Sorry, Donovan's the right person. Donovan. Who's Donovan? Donovan Mitchell. Donovan. I'm not even totally sure. Let's see. And Seymour saying wishing health for Coloco. Yeah, I think they solved it. Apparently, they actually figured out what the issue was and they reversed it. So he's on his way back. He should be able to play. I'm really hoping to. Like, that young man shouldn't have his NBA career snuffed out like that so quickly. He deserves a chance to try and progress and do great things in this league as the young Cameroonian. And I'm rooting for him, just like you guys. Yeah, Trevor's saying Raptors fans don't get too excited on Christian Coloco. You might get your heart broken. Well, that's what I'm going to say. You know, in some ways, it's one thing if he gets okay to come into the league again. It's one thing that he makes the decision to come back to us. And we need to be ready for whatever happens. In some ways, if he makes some sort of decision not to be with us because Rich Paul and Clutch and them say, no, we want you to go and play for this team or this team instead, and he takes money and goes somewhere else, I think that the sign that we are really much in line to get him back is that we are standing pat with this open spot on our roster right now and a nice little bit of money to spend on somebody real quick. So I think that Masai and Bobby are waiting to find out what this final adjudication is from the NBA Fitness to Play panel, and they're going to jump on it immediately then. It could be to the detriment of not signing free agents right now that are available. They don't care. There's like, if we can get Christian back, we're going to do it, and we're leaving this spot and money open for him when they do decide. Now, if that money and spot is open and he decides to go somewhere else somehow, some way, because he's a free agent status, yeah, we can call some bullshit and we may be disappointed. But I'm hoping that's not how it goes down. The ultimate best outcome for Christian Coloco is that he's cleared to play and he is welcome back on our team. And he is twin towers from Cameroon with Shamshe in the future for us. Coloco and Shamshe could be a very interesting pairing in the years to come if he's able to come back. That's right. Seymour saying Coloco. That's right. Coloco. We love Coloco. We want him back. I love all those emotes. Look at that. Milbester saying, so Canada didn't even finish fourth in basketball? Serbia and Germany want bronze medal game. Yeah. Milbester, where the fuck have you been? Have you not been watching my channel this past week? I've gone over this. I did a watch along of the Canada versus France game and how we got railroaded out of the medal round. If you aren't up to speed, you can go back and watch it. Seriously, go back and watch my stream from last Tuesday. I watched that game, every single play. I called it. We called what was going on with the refs, double the fouls on Canada versus France. You're not understanding, Milbester? There was script writing? Have you not been hearing this stuff that people have been saying about the Olympics right now? Milbester, come on, man. You're smarter than this. Didn't you know that the Olympics wanted to write the final of France versus USA that's happening right now? Didn't you know that? That it's like Nike and the NBA and FIBA and the IOC and the French team and the French people wanted the home crowd to be playing USA in the gold medal games of the men's and women's basketball. So they had to railroad Canada out of the way when they were facing France before the medal round. Do you not understand this, Milbester? That it was not very fair, the officiating. They were very one-sided, and they helped France beat Canada. So don't fucking come at us and say something about our team not making the medal round just because you didn't pay attention, just because you didn't see them help France beat Japan in overtime last week, and then help France beat Canada this week, and then help France beat Germany on Thursday. Just because you didn't see this shit happening, the script writing, the writing of the script of your former New York Knick Evan Fournier on the French team getting further because France wanted to have their team against USA in the gold medal game. Milbester, wake up and pay attention. And if you don't understand what happened to Team Canada at the Olympics, well, go back and watch that game. How about that? Yeah, that's why we're pissed. Because, yeah, we should have been in a medal. We should have been in a medal. But they wanted to script write France and Wemby versus the United States. So they script writed this shit. And they fucking handcuffed Dylan Brooks and Lucas Dort and didn't let us play our normal defense. And they let France play as physical as possible. And, well, that's what happens. SGA is the only guy who can score because they're not letting anybody else do anything on Team Canada. So you go ahead. Seriously, Milbester, get out from underneath your rock. Maybe stop paying so much fucking attention to your New York teams, your baseball, and your other shit, and pay attention to other stuff. Maybe you'll know what's going on. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Wayne saying, I suck with these new signings. The guy from the Hawks, he's not guaranteed to my knowledge. Yes, that's who. Bruno Fernando is his name. Fernando. Think of Billy Crystal from Saturday Night Live, the loungy guy in the white suit. I'm Fernando. Come and sit down with me, my honeys. Yes, how are you today? You're looking very sexy. Yeah, Bruno Fernando, not Cabico. Bruno Fernando, former backup center to the Atlanta Hawks last year. That's who it is. Bruno. Seymour saying, Milbester needs to be drug tested. You know what? You're right, Seymour. We're going to give you a three-pointer on this one. That's a 114 for Seymour on that one. And Milbester, for being good-natured, I'm going to give you a dunk just for fun. For being a good-natured guy, and let me go off on you a little bit. You got the Dennis Schroeder 17 guy. Milbester has 17 dunks, guys. That's pretty impressive, honestly. That's pretty impressive. Milbester saying, that's what I was telling you. I knew since the beginning it was scripted for U.S.-France, but I expected Canada to get third. We did too. But we just happened to be in the way of the script. So, I mean, that's all it is right there. Japan, I feel bad for them because honestly, Japan did so good this Olympics and they got shafted. They really did. There was no foul on that. Japanese player did not touch Nicolita or whatever his name is on that one shot. Yeah, Milbester, I'm glad you understand. So I was like, wondering why we didn't get in the medal round. The script was written and you knew it. All right, this is good. Milbester, yeah, it's all good. Milbester's awesome. You can say he's like the Three Stooges. Yeah, I'll be Curly then. Whoa. Oh, wise guy, eh? Carlos saying script writers and games, Wemby versus USA. We'll see what the script is. The script is probably LeBron is MVP and Kevin Durant's leading scorer. That's probably what the script is right there. They are saying that Kevin Durant will start today for Team USA. This game, he will start in the gold medal game. Steve Kerr will start Kevin Durant. Not so salty towards him, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew saying Tootie Yogurt is really getting a medal. Tootie Yogurt. Oh, Rudy Gobert. Yeah, Tootie Yogurt. Tootie Yogurt. It's like you eat the yogurt and it makes you Tootie. All right, Andrew, you're getting a trifecta today. You're getting another dunk for being funny this time. Andrew's gotten like the hat trick today for being like funny, for being informative, and also for being witty. So yeah, good stuff, Andrew. Really good stuff. You got that Muggsy Bogues, Jacoby Walter 14, my guy. Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see. Tobias is saying, plain and simple, it was 7-on-5 when France played Canada. So one of the refs was actually on our side. It was 8-on-5. It was 8-on-5. That's right. Kareem saying, Koloko better not be using us for free healthcare and then leaving. I'll put him on my wanted hate list. I don't think he's using the healthcare up here. I think most of the doctors he's been seeing have been in California, just to be honest, the specialists that he's been seeing. So I think that most of the healthcare he's been getting has actually been in California, nearby Clutch headquarters or whatever. Tobias saying, we don't talk about Bruno. Yeah, I don't mind Bruno. No, Bruno. Yeah, Bruno. Bruno Cabico is amazing. And, well, let's go full circle. Bruno Cabico, a discovered talent at Basketball Without Borders, a former MVP of Basketball Without Borders. He wowed everybody, and it made Basketball Without Borders kind of get put on the map more. And more people were like, well, we need to pay more attention to Basketball Without Borders because look at this Brazilian kid, the Brazilian Kevin Durant. Look at him coming up. That's what he was supposed to be. Well, he's still a badass. He's a badass to this day. And you know what? Some people would say, why don't we revisit Bruno Cabico on the Raptors? I don't know. That ship sailed so long ago. But it would be weird if Bruno was on our team all of a sudden. That Bruno. That would be really, really weird. Really, really weird. All right, let's see. You guys are continuing with the chat. And it's fine. We're at 2 hours. We're going to be done in a second. Carlos saying Bronny had a heart attack but got fitness to play certified right away, meaning Koloko's doctors cleared him and still no updates. Well, we all know, once again, somebody greases the wheels on everything, and it's the most powerful man in the NBA. It's not Adam Silver. We know that's the big reason why of all this. In some ways, they're going to be like poo-pooing. The sad thing could be is that Bronny actually does have a serious problem, and he gets pushed to a limit, and something tragic dies. Tragic happens. That would be awful. That would be awful. And they don't need that to happen just because of the vanity of his father to have this father-son year that he's going to do this year. I mean, that would be ridiculously awful if that happened. Seriously. Milbester saying they announced the Christmas games. We don't give a shit about them. You know what? We're going to continue to pass your comments. We don't give a shit about them. We covered this yesterday, Milbester. You're behind. Tobias is saying the other ref was sleeping. Okay, that's why you said 7-on-5. All right, Tobias, I'm gonna give you a dunk. I'll give you a dunk because you said that the other ref was sleeping. That's why. That's hilarious. All right, where's Tobias? He's on this list. I know he's down here. We just gave him a dunk the other day. Yeah, there he is. You're gonna get the Scotty Barnes 4, my guy. You got the Barnes 4. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Andrew's saying it's impressive that Masai's biggest mistake was drafting Bruno. Even his biggest mistake became a phenomenal overseas player. That's really true, Andrew. I mean, what were the mistakes he named? He said, I've made the 3 mistakes. He named Bruno, Koloko, and Malachi were the 3 mistakes Masai owned up to. That's interesting. Yeah, Malachi Flynn. Yeah, I mean, that was a mistake. That may have been the worst mistake, honestly. Koloko, how could he see that this would happen with Koloko? Maybe Bobby and him didn't do their due diligence on his health report, or maybe this is just something random that just sprung up out of the blue. I don't know. I'd say Malachi was his biggest mistake because Cabico has really came through at some point. And Koloko, well, how can you say that's a mistake? He picked a really good player, and he had a medical condition nobody knew was going to happen. So I say Malachi Flynn's the biggest mistake that Masai ever made out of his 3 mistakes. Seriously. Yeah, because Bruno's been very successful in his career, very, very successful. Seymour saying, "A guy did that in Calgary. Used the Flames money for drug rehab, kicked it in, signed elsewhere. Cooled, but who cares about hockey?" So somebody did that to the team in Calgary, the hockey team, the Flames. They used the Canadian healthcare, got better, and they took off to an American NHL team. So you're burned on that and you're worried about that. Okay, that makes sense. Carlos saying, exactly, Lex. That heart attack at a young age while being an athlete is such a big warning sign. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Len Bias. Let's talk about Reggie Lewis. Yeah, and this stuff happens in wrestling rings too. You got to be real careful. You know, the $1 Million Man's dad died of a heart attack in the ring. Mike DiBiase, way, way, way back. Yeah, this happens. People that strain their hearts in athletic competition, and it's very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Let's see. All right, Milbester has something on topic here, so I'll read this one. Cardiac arrest isn't the same as a heart attack. I don't know why everyone gets mixed with that. Bronny had a cardiac arrest. Heart just stops pumping. A heart attack is when arteries blocked or BP is too high. This is actually very helpful. This is a good distinction. This is a good distinction. Well, who knows? Maybe he just got flush or like lightheaded and something happened or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I'm thinking about the health of the young man probably more than some of the people around him are. Then they're too busy trying to sell shoes or make a global image or something like that. Adam Silver, LeBron James, think about the young man's mental health, if not his physical health. You know, that's what I would say. Carlos saying, well, cardiac arrest at such a young stage is still a big warning sign. I think either way, we're arguing, finagling like stupid stuff. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's scary. It's a medical thing. And yeah, I get Milbester's difference in what he's trying to say. It's true. The heart attack's more from cholesterol and blocked arteries, and a cardiac arrest is just your heart stopping for a second. But that's still scary as hell. So Tobias saying, I was referring to the other Bruno you mentioned, Billy Crystal. Oh, you were talking about that Bruno? Oh, that's cool. All right, you were talking about Billy Crystal's Bruno Fernando. Fernando was his name. Yeah, the character's name was Fernando. That Billy Crystal used to do on the old Joe Piscopo, Eddie Murphy's Saturday Night Live back then. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in that cast also. She of Seinfeld. That's right. She was on Saturday Night Live before Seinfeld. That's right. Wayne saying, are we saying that it's impossible for France to script an upset against LeBron, Kevin, and Steph Curry's last Olympic Games? Are we saying the game is a must-win for the USA? Who are the referees? I don't know how the script could go today. I mean, if they really want to try and usher in the era of Wemby, this is the way they bang down the door and say, yeah, Wemby's here and it's time. But I don't think he's ready, honestly. Looking at what Wemby's done in these Olympics, he has not been that good. He's been good defensively as a presence and a threat, but his game has been so ugly and gross. He's not the one who's helped this team get this point. Is other French guys that have been absolutely more important, especially Yabusele. It's not Gobert and Wembanyama that carried France to the gold medal game. It's Yabusele and Cordner on a lower level. Yeah, it's those two guys. They are the ones who won these last two games. And Gobert, he's not even playing, and rightfully so, because he makes them lose. Carlos calling him Dr. Milbester. I kind of like that. We can make Milbester a doctor. It sounds like he has some medical knowledge from the way he broke that down. Kareem saying Bruno would have been great if we had the 905. Yeah, that's why we built the 905, is the mistakes that we made around Brazilian Bruno. Is that was it right there. Seymour saying the greed of the dollar will overshadow his health problems. Sad. Yeah, I don't know. Just don't kill the young man, LeBron. That's what I'm saying. Don't kill your son just because you want to make some fairy tale story about father and son playing. You know, and in some ways, this kid does not belong in the NBA. We all know this. Everybody knows this. Cool Cat saying, wait a minute. Jonathan Kuminga wants $224 million extension. So all those that wanted him on the Raptors, costly. Yeah, I wouldn't pay him that. That's insane. He's crazy. Like, what the hell have you done? You showed up on the Warriors and they sucked after you showed up. And they haven't done jack shit. And in some ways, you've had a bad attitude. And so you kind of had a good year last year where you paid attention and doing stuff. And now you want this money? Well, that's the Warriors' problem. That ain't nobody's problem but them. And I ain't have nothing to do with him on the Raptors. I don't think that's money well spent. That's right. That's a high ticket. That's a high ticket. Milbester's saying, I'm saying this because my mom survived a heart attack 2 years ago and she didn't have cholesterol and high blood pressure. It was randomly something that got blocked in her arteries. She has a stent. Okay, this is good information, and I hope your mom is doing very, very well, Milbester. I want to wish her the best health in all kinds of ways. And that health scare probably scared her, but hopefully she can be strong and not have any more health problems ever again. How about that? I'm going to wish that for her today. Carlos saying Kaminga wants that 2021 draft year extension bonanza. I doubt he gets it. Yeah, I don't think that's likely either. I mean, that's going to be something that they're going to have to figure out. The Warriors. Yeah, I don't know. The Warriors are in flux, though. They're changing with the departure of Klay Thompson and possibly Draymond not being around soon. Tobias is saying Seinfeld was great, still is. I can get behind that. I agree with that. Andrew's saying, I think Wemby having a true point guard and Chris Paul will help him flourish. I think so too. This year could be a lot different for the Spurs. They've changed their team a bit. Harrison Barnes is also there. And we'll have to see if they do have an uptick in wins. But yeah, the Wemby effect is not the Duncan effect. I can clearly say that. And in some ways, everybody thinking Wemby's just automatically going to win championships because he's an alien and a unicorn. That's not true. Nothing is just given in this league unless you're the Lakers and LeBron. You have to earn it. And in some ways, Wemby, if he doesn't work hard enough and he's not good enough in certain ways, just because he's that crazy good specimen and talent, that doesn't mean he's the guy who's going to do it in some ways. Trust me. In some ways, that may not mean it. Yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying, I love how Wemby loves the three. I hope he continues that with his matchup with Scotty. Scotty, when we play them. Well, Scotty's been getting a better and better at his three-point shooting himself. Wemby's really bad at three at the Olympics. Trevor's saying, if France it's a slap. If France, what a slap in the face to USA. I think you missed the word wins. Yeah, I think that would be a disgrace for the United States, and they don't want to allow that to happen. In some ways, the hierarchy of power in basketball and the international world won't allow this. I'll bet you. If it's close and there's weirdness where France could threaten and win this game, which is not likely, I'm very much predicting a blowout, guys. Then they will definitely help the USA to win at the end. They won't help France at that point. Let's see. Wayne saying agreed. Wemby has been a non-factor. However, I said France, not Wemby. Other players were aggressive and Cordner shot well. France seems barefaced right now. They're doing it with physicality and just dirty ass play. And the referees are allowing them to play as dirty as they want to and with no repercussions. That's really how they got past both Germany and Canada, is playing absolutely physical, scrappy play with a carte blanche to do whatever they want without getting in trouble for it. So that's a big, big factor of how they got there. It's not the two huge centers, the defensive giants. It's the gritty physicalness of Yabusele, Lasort, and Cordner getting fire in the last couple games, really. Cordner getting fire in the Germany and Canada game has been a huge factor for why they've done well. Yeah. Milbester saying, thanks, Lex. Yeah, she's doing well after that. She's traveling next Thursday for a month to Florida with her family. It was a traumatic for her, but I know she's past that. Thank God. All is well. Thank God. And I hope she has a fantastic vacation down in Florida. Get some of those nice Florida rays. And yeah, just have a nice time down there. Mother of Milbester. Yes. Tobias is saying, I don't know who I would rather win. I hate France, but I hate LeBron just as much. Tobias, you are a friend of mine. Yeah, in some ways, I'm rooting for the U.S. because I'm mad at France for the script writing against Canada. So yeah, in some ways, let's just let it happen the way it's supposed to. The USA should win by 20 to 30 points today. I'm going to say that right now. Carlos saying, unless Wemby figures out that he has to be an inside force in offense, he won't dominate. Ooh, yeah. If he's going to rely on the outside shot and he can't do anything inside because he gets pushed off balance and he won't make any inside shots, this is a really good point, Carlo. So in some ways, he does have to get stronger and bigger because he is very much movable by strong players in the NBA right now. Yeah. Malaza's here. Good to see Malaza checking in, our Puerto Rican friend, actually, guys. I can't believe France won over Canada. Yeah, we can't believe that still. It was very much a script. And you might want to tune in earlier. We talked about the nation state of Puerto Rico quite a bit. You could have actually elaborated on some of the things we were saying. With all due respect, we were just kind of trying to speculate the statehood of possibility of Puerto Rico with the United States and their status as a commonwealth. So it was very interesting stuff we were saying there. Andrew's saying dirty basketball. Maybe Embiid should have played for them. He would have fit right in. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. In FIBA, there's a certain level of physicality and like contact is allowed. Well, they can ratchet that up like Spinal Tap to 11 on the 10 dial. And that's kind of what they did for France in the last few games. They allowed them to do whatever they want with dirty ass shit near the basket. So everything that, besides Wemby lurking in a shot blocking threat, everything that Canada tried to do in the paint that was contested with severe physicality that was not called in fouls. There was a lot of that going on. Seymour saying, Lex, rank 1 through 4, Toronto Raptors GMs, Masai, Grunwald, Colangelo, and Isaiah Thomas. Well, I mean, you're not going to put in the worst one, Babcock, which is fine. I think I've done this before, but I'll do it again just to humor you. The best one is Masai, obviously. Number 1 is Masai Ujiri. I mean, how can you you can't dispute that. The number 1 GM in the Raptors history ever is Masai Ujiri. We'll just say team president. I would say out of these 3, I think Isaiah is second because in some ways he was in the very beginning, which is tough because we were expansion, and he had success. He did his job very well. You got to look at who he drafted. He drafted McGrady. He drafted Camby. He drafted Damon Stoudemire. So in some ways, I'll put Isaiah second. I like Glenn Grunwald a lot. In some ways, we won and went in the playoffs with Glenn Grunwald as our GM. At the first time we went to the playoffs, he was our GM. So I'll put him third, and Colangelo can be fourth. The Colangelo era was the beginning of the championship era. There's some holdovers that went into that. He drafted Valanciunas and Bargnani. But there wasn't a lot of success around Brian Colangelo's era, also the Chris Bosh era. So that's my order. Masai, Isaiah, Glenn, and then Brian. How about that? And then Rob Babcock goes at 5th right there. Yeah. Wayne saying, good to hear, Milbester. I hope you and your family vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Yes, I fully endorse a blue wave, and everybody needs to get out there. We can't be like we were the year that Hillary ran against Donald and just expect Hillary to beat him. We saw what happened when that happened. So everybody needs to come out and vote no matter what. I got my ballot ready to go in the mail right now, and I'm going to be voting from up here. And I will be voting for Vice President Harris for sure, and Governor Walz. So I highly implore everyone, even if you think you don't care, you don't want this, listen, I'm serious. If Trump win, if he loses by a little, he's going to try and fight it and do all kinds of crazy shit. So everybody needs to vote, and it needs to be overwhelmingly on the other side so he can't dispute it. He's so crazy. He'll try and do more January 6th stuff if it's close. Trust me. So the American public needs to come out in full force and vote like they did for Biden in 2020. Vote like they did for Obama twice, and we will be fine. That's what we need to do. It's our duty. It's on us now as the voters, the American voters for this election. And anybody who's saying they all suck, I'm just not going to vote. Well, you're not helping anything. And if God forbid something crazy happens and that idiot is somehow, some way in charge down there again, you guys don't understand how bad it will be for this world. This guy is seriously a fascist, and he will do so many crazy things down there. And some people up here will be like, well, what does it matter to us? We're in Canada. No, it'll matter to us, because the politicians up here kind of shadow and follow what the politicians do down there. Doug Ford's the perfect example. He's a Trump politician doing Trump things, doing rackets and being a criminal behind our backs, making all kinds of money, just like Trump did. So there's going to be a version of it up here if it happens down there. So we need to have it not happen down there so that there's no influence in our politics up here in Canada also. So I implore every dual citizen like myself to go vote if you are in Canada. Seriously, go vote. That's right. Seriously. Let's not mess around with our future for the world. This isn't just for the United States. This is for the whole entire world. And there's people in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Australia. They want us to help them not have another 4 years of Donald Trump as the president of the United States. It's a really, really big disaster waiting to happen. And what is the message? That we have a criminal, a woman molester, a horrible, horrible example in the world? That's what we would go to. Is not the right thing. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are Americans, and they stand for American things, and they're uniting people right now. There are right-wing people, Republicans, that are going to vote for Harris and Walz because they have sanity. They have smarts. They have intelligence, and they know that she will work with them, where Trump will not work with anyone other than his ego. So there's my little political diatribe on that. And we're over time, but hey, you guys are enjoying talking to me today. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit. Cowboy's checking in now. Good morning, afternoon, Raptor Freaks. You're after the time, Cowboy, and I'm over. Andrew's saying, I'm so glad to have a guy like Masai working for a franchise. There's so many front offices that run like shit. That's right. That's exactly right. Every day, wake up every day and say, I'm thankful that my eyes open again and I'm alive. And Masai Ujiri's in charge of the Raptors. That's what I do every morning. Malaza's saying, we are happy as a Commonwealth. France don't let no fresh represent their country. Every athlete was dark skinned with African heritage. Interesting. Interesting. Ta-da. All right, we'll do it real quick. You're going to say it, but I do need to go, guys. I have stuff I got to do today. Ta-da. 647-833-6844. You can call Bradley, and he'll come to your house, and he'll repair all kinds of things. He'll come to your house and just repair stuff. Your kid has a broken toy. He might be able to repair it. You have a leaky faucet. Do you have a window that is just whipping in the wind, making a weird noise? He could probably fix that. So call Tada, 647-833-6844. That's the number to call the Canadian Cowboy. That's right. Yeah. Alley-oop to Andrew. Masai is the effing man. There you go. Andrew, you've been cleaning up today. Andrew's like, he's hanging all over the rim like crazy. You got the Vince Carter 15, or shall I say the Amir Johnson 15? I might just say it that way. That's right. Andrew's saying, if I was American, I'd vote Harris too. She's a badass. She's like, yo, you come and say that to my face. She's saying stuff like that. In some ways, she's the thing that I love. In some ways, Biden's a nice guy. He's dark Brandon, all that kind of shit. But the Democratic Party's been too pushover. And Kamala Harris is not a pushover. And I love that about her. And I want her to push back. I want her to call them out on their bullshit and come after them like a pit bull. So, yeah, you do that, Vice President Harris. You're going to get a lot of popularity from it. I wish he would debate her. I wish he would show up and debate her. Ooh, that would be primetime good TV if we actually got the debate. But that man is scared. He's yellow. He's a coward. He will not face off with her because he knows she will verbally run circles around his sorry old ass. Yeah, you call Biden that old ass for so long. Well, who's the old ass now? Donald Trump. Who's the old ass now? That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Yeah, classic card. We already did it. It was Karl Malone, unfortunately. Gross. Karl Malone was the classic card. Yeah. Let's see. Where are we? You got finished up, guys. Trevor's saying, me and my family are voting for her. There you go. Trevor's voting for her. That's right. That's right. Sheriff getting dapped. Seymour's giving me the time. All right. There's the time. You guys got it. Yeah. Monique, respect Monique's cutoff, guys. That GM order is correct. A+. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Yeah. Masai, Isaiah. Yeah. Malaza's saying, for Kamala, do you want the destruction of the USA? No way in hell we're letting a feminist puppet take power. Nah, see, you're going to diverge with me on this. I'm very far left in all my politics. In fact, yeah, I'm very far left. I'm voting for Harris, and you crazy if you're voting for Trump. I'm going to tell you that right now, Balaza. Do you have a vote? Tell me if you do or not, because I hope you don't, honestly, because you're not going to help anything. No, feminists? What do you have a problem with feminism? What do you have a problem? You have a problem with equality? You have a problem with men and women being treated equally? Well, you're not the right place then, Malaza. We might have to diverge on this one. Seriously, don't use shit like that. She's not a feminist puppet. She's the best option in this election. Just trust me. Yeah, Seymour's saying, I'm not talking politics. Too touchy of a subject. Sorry. Yeah, that's all good. In some ways, I don't normally talk about politics as much recently, but historically I have. I will go off on politics on this channel, and people know, the old heads do. Cowboy said, I wouldn't vote for Harris. Why, Cowboy? You're a nice guy. Why wouldn't you vote for an Indian woman? You know, that doesn't make any sense to me, Cowboy, seeing as your personal life. Seriously, why wouldn't you vote for her? Seriously, that don't make no sense. Seriously, you're going to vote for Trump? You're just not going to vote. Well, you don't get to vote because you're Canadian. Thank God. Thank God. Cowboy, I love you, but you're misguided if you don't like Harris. Trust me. You're misguided. You're getting some bad information. There's a lot of people that get really bad news sources, I've found out. A lot of propaganda that y'all are eating up like it's just truth. Y'all check your news sources, please, especially if you're listening to anti-Kamala Harris shit right now. Seriously. You're probably getting your news from MAGA bullshit artists, is just what I'm going to say to y'all. Malaza and Cowboy. That's what I'm saying to you two in particular right now. Milbester saying, Milbester, fuck off with your WNBA asking me dino shit. I already told you this. Didn't you fucking listen 2 days ago when you told me, name the WNBA team dinos? Did you not fucking hear me when I said this team has nothing to do with the Raptors? This is not a dinosaur-themed team. So get off your fucking dumbass calling the team dinosaurs. It's not going to be named after the dinosaurs. They're not the same owners that own the Raptors and this team that we're building in the WNBA in Toronto. You're not listening to me, Milbester. I've said this to you like fucking 5 times. Yeah. All right, let's see. Mike's saying, I suggested the Toronto Vibes and Toronto Valkyrie. Well, Valkyrie is the name of the Golden State team. Toronto Vibes is not bad. It's an interesting allusion to the Jamaican culture or island culture of Toronto and Caribana and stuff. I mean, but I still like Mo's name the best. Triumph. Toronto Triumph. I think that name is badass right there. That's right. Cowboy's saying, what about the Toronto Titans? That's not totally horrible. Totally horrible. I mean, there's the Titans in the NFL. I mean, it's not totally horrible. I like Towers better, though. I think Towers is better just because of the CN Tower. If I rank the names that I'm really liking right now for the team, which we shouldn't be doing this, I'm half an hour over my time. Y'all should be stopping commenting, especially people that just showed up at the end. I would say Triumph is number 1 on my list right now. Monique's idea. Towers is second, and North Stars is third. Those are my 3 favorite names so far. Yeah, Salute the Logical for sure. Yeah, Titans isn't bad. I like the alliteration. Wayne saying, who do you prefer, a prosecutor or a convicted rapist? Boom goes the dynamite. Wayne Strainer, right on it. Prosecutor or convicted felon? Boom goes the dynamite. Shame on the anti-Harris comment. Exactly. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, seriously, if you want to disagree with me on Harris and you don't like me anymore, I don't care. There's the door. I don't give a shit. Everybody who doesn't want to agree with me politically and that pisses them off to the point that they don't want to watch me anymore, I don't care. I'll lose y'all. I don't give a shit. I will stand on how I feel politically, and I will fight, the good fight for the right side, the blue side, that hopefully, God willing, will win no matter what and kick so much ass that motherfucker Trump goes off in the sunset. We never have to see his sorry orange ass on TV ever again. That's what I'm hoping for. Y'all wanting something else? Y'all are crazy. I'm going to tell you, he's made a mockery of the American political system for too long. And the American public needs to come out and vote their conscience and tell a big negative no to him and get him the fuck out of here. Is what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Seymour saying heavy. I like Titans, but it's already used in the NFL. Yeah, it's kind of like also that movie, Remember the Titans. It's kind of like a football name. I think Towers is better because Titans has a heft to it, like a weight, and Towers is like a height. And seriously, CN Towers. In some ways, the Raptors are almost the Towers. Cowboy saying later, Lex and Rapper Freaks. Everyone have a blessed day. Stay safe out there, Cowboy, wherever you're working right now. And all the best to Tada and the crew. That's right. Prosecutor or rapist. I'm giving a 5-pointer to Wayne. He's getting a 5-pointer because he's just exactly right on this. I don't know how y'all can choose on this. Law and Order or a fucking criminal. How really? Seriously, y'all want to be criminals? Go ahead and vote for Trump. Go ahead. 60 dunks for Wayne Strainer. He's at 60 now. 60. Yeah. Mike's dapping Seymour. Cowboys saying, yeah, I know, but it sounds nice. Toronto Titans. It doesn't sound bad. Let's see. Tobias is saying, I don't watch MSN. I don't know. I don't watch any news channels. I only get my news from reading it online, and it's usually from a very neutral source. And most of my news comes from Bo of the Fifth Column. Not gonna lie, he's pretty straight up on what's saying stuff. But I was saying September 10th is the debate, Lex. So they are going to have it. Is he going to show up, though? That's the thing. He's saying he's not going to show up. She's going to be there, and she's going to stand in front of everybody and answer questions, whether he shows up or not. I don't think he's going to show up, Kareem. I don't think he's going to show up. Neil saying half the gender is female. Get over it, all y'all anti-feminists. Remember, you were born, not hatched. What is good for one is good for the other. Freedom. The problem is that a lot of men do not understand that we have been subjugating women for the entire history of time. And people that disagree with me and say, no, that's bullshit, Lex. No, it's true. There's been a male patriarchy that has dominated women throughout the history of time. And in some ways, when you start seeing them come up equal with us, equal, not past us, y'all feel like you're getting pushed down. No. It's an optical illusion. You're staying in the same fucking place you've been the whole fucking time. And the women are just slightly getting elevated up to our level finally. But the illusion to you is you're getting pushed down because somebody's coming equal with you. Get over yourselves, anti-feminists. This is the way it should be if it's going to be right for the future. Men have fucked up this country and this world long enough. We need more female leadership, and a female president is the right decision. And people that aren't going to vote for Kamala Harris just because she's a woman, what are you, a fucking caveman? What are you, a fucking bigot? What are you, some sort of macho man? I'm a macho man. I can't vote for a woman. What are you? Get over yourself is what I tell you. If you're like that, seriously, if that's part of what your problem is, seriously. Milbester's saying is, all right, y'all, we got to really stop. We really got to stop. The funny thing is that in the KBO, there's a pro baseball. All right, I'm done. All right, Mike saying Mose is really good. Mose is really good. All good, bro. Dap to you guys. A cutoff once again from Mo. This is the third time's the charm. It's going to stick this time because I'm at 2:30. Carlos saying, I love how Biden stepped down. You really see something like that. Rarely see something like that. Justin should take note and step down. Now, I won't get behind that. That doesn't make any sense. Biden's too old. That's why he needed to step down. And listen, it's funny because Trump's saying, I expect Biden to come in and say, I changed my mind. I want to still run for president. That's your own ego. This is the thing. Biden and Trump are exactly opposite. Joe Biden is a selfless humanitarian who cares about people. Trump only cares about himself. He's an egotist. In his mind, he can't understand why Biden stepped aside to allow Kamala to run against him. It blows his head up. It blows a gasket. And it really is one of the most selfless, amazing things anybody has ever done. In some ways, Joe Biden is a hero. He is a good role model. He is somebody showing that, you know what, a sacrifice made by someone for the better good of everybody else is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's exactly what that is right there. Justin Trudeau is not doing anything wrong. Justin is a very good leader for Canada. He's done a good job. And, well, I support my prime minister. I don't fall for all the anti-rhetoric that MAGA circles are pushing at him also. That it's the same action. Everybody who comes at Biden, everybody who comes at Kamala, everybody who comes at Justin, they're the same people. And they're the same problem people. So I would say this, Carlo, don't buy the shit against Justin. I have problems with his corporatism. Yeah, the Democratic Party is corporate too down in the States, but that's just the way it is. Politics is or corporatized now. And unfortunately, there is no great, perfect candidate at this point. And Justin Trudeau is the best candidate right now for leading Canada, even if a lot of people that are anti-vaccine and anti-this and anti-that are pissed at him. I'm not one of them. I stand by my prime minister, and I'm proud of him. In fact, I saw him recently on an interview on a beach by a right-wing conspiracy fucker coming and bugging him on his vacation with his kids. He handled it with grace and dignity, and he called him out on it in the middle of it too. And this clueless ass motherfucker couldn't figure out he's very unclassy to be bothering the prime minister on his own private time. So, I mean, I can't get behind that. I stand with my team. And in some ways, I'm not a liberal. But I understand that the alternatives to Justin Trudeau in Canada are much worse. Trust me. Yeah, Wayne's saying Toronto Triumph is a winner. I like that one too. I really do. Yeah. Mo, virtual hug from Mo. Shannon's here. Good morning, brothers. I was depressed after Canada to France, after seeing Germany not meddling. It just shows anything can happen in a one-game knockout. Top 5 in the world: USA, Canada, Germany, Serbia, and France. That's a good list. I would take France out of it, and I'd put Australia in that spot. But I like the list otherwise. I think it's very good. Shannon, good to see you, my guy, my New York friend. I'm going to go ahead and give you a dunk. Coming into a very lively debate just now. You got 8 dunks, my guy. 8 dunks for Shannon from New York. RJ fan number 1. Yeah, Tobias saying mainstream media, mainstream media. Kareem saying I love Lex, love hate. I love Lex's love hate relationship for Milvester. I'm just trying to be fair. If the comments are not pertaining to our channel, I will skip them. But if they're heartwarming and there's something about like something like his mom, well, I don't want to be a jerk about that. I don't. Seymour saying Lex, MSM is mainstream media. Oh, that's what that means. MSM. Okay, it's not MSN. Okay. Yeah, I'm not watching CNN. I don't watch Fox. I don't watch CNBC. I don't watch any of the cable news networks. I don't read any of the newspapers. I basically am getting my news from Bo the Fifth Column and other people like Robert Reich and different people just kind of talking about political stuff that I trust. People that have, in some ways, similar ideologies to me, but also at the same time, they're just plain speaking the facts. And in some ways, they're letting me allow myself to think for myself. And some people say, no, you're not thinking for yourself. Well, I'm a very left leaning person. So I do think for myself. And there's a lot of stuff that actually I don't totally agree with everything on that side, but there is a lot that I do. And that's what I say right there. Alley oop to Kareem. All right, we can do that. We can do that. But I really do need to go, guys. I got to drive to the city in a second. I got to drive down to Toronto very soon. 220 for Kareem. 220. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. But I was saying he wishes his mom the best. In the same breath, he tells him to fuck off. Never change, Lex. There you go. And Ahmed's saying, oops, my bad. I don't know what you did, Ahmed. You're cool. You're cool. Milbester's saying Ronald Reagan was too old, so they tried to kill him. You never too old for president. That he shouldn't have been president, honestly. And that's kind of the funny thing that like that side's going after Joe Biden about. Like, listen, the second term of Ronald Reagan, he should not have been president. He was actually having Alzheimer's. And in some ways, he wasn't really in charge. He was just a figurehead because that man was the oldest president ever at that time. And he didn't know anything like was going on. He was such, in some ways, it wasn't a social media age. It was safer for hiding it. But yeah, Reagan was way too old in his last term and he was on autopilot. That's just the damn truth right there. They didn't that person tried to kill him just to get famous. It had nothing to do with the other stuff. Cool Cat saying, yep, Lex, I'm with you supporting my current prime minister, Justin Trudeau. The policies from the others are scary. That's the thing. It's not about the people. They're going to villainize Justin Trudeau and Kamala and make you want to think you should hate them. But it's the policies y'all should be looking at. You should be looking at what these guys are trying to do. And the right wing in Canada wants to take away our free healthcare. They want to take away good education and privatize it. They want to destroy our environment. They want to take away reproductive rights from women. They want to stop people from being able to immigrate here and come to this country. There's all kinds of different platforms. Now, if you're for some of the things that I just said, go ahead and stand on that side. But really, stop being in the cult of personality and trying to decide things about people. And people will villainize people. They say things that make you want to hate them. And there's so much money, dark money from corporate 1% billionaires funneled into making you hate Justin Trudeau, making you hate Kamala Harris. And you got to be aware of that. That if you want to be a rube and be able to be persuaded by big, huge money forces out there that are telling you to hate Trudeau, you go ahead and be a sheep and follow their they want because they want you to hate Trudeau. Because in some ways, Trudeau's the guy who's going to do something to them with a carbon tax and hurt their bottom line. The carbon tax isn't against us, y'all. It's against the huge industries that pollute our environment every day, that they need to pay up. They're making so many profits and they're putting all this escalation of prices on us. It's not, what did they say? Oh, if we raise the minimum wage, then inflation will happen. Well, they didn't raise the minimum wage and inflation happened anyway. So seriously, y'all, stop being manipulated by big money forces that are paying a lot of money to sully the name of some of the main leaders on the certain side. And you guys just hate them blindly. Some of y'all can't even tell me why y'all hate him. If you could tell me why you hate Justin Trudeau in a very clear way, and I can understand it, then maybe I'll get behind you. But nobody ever tells me why they actually hate him. No, they just say they hate him. I hate Justin Trudeau. Well, tell me why. How about it? Come on, I'm here. I'm listening. Y'all can write in why you think he sucks. If you give me some good reasoning, maybe let me think about what they said. Okay. You know what? That is kind of not very good. You could give me a reason other than just, I hate Trudeau. He should step down. That's not good enough. I'm sorry. That's not good enough right there. That's not good enough right there. That's right. Shannon's saying, thanks to me for the dunk. And Milbester's saying, wow, former CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, passed away today. 56. That's sad. I don't like to hear that. That's very sad. And Cool Cat's saying, yep, no more mainstream media anymore. They don't report the news. No critical thinking, just entertainment. Well, that's what Leo Routen's called CNN out on. That they normalize Trump and some of the things that he's doing down there in a way, because listen, Elon owns Twitter. He's obviously making have a right-wing slant. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, very, very slanted. Some people will say the MSNBC, the NBC news channels are very slanted left. I won't disagree with you. That's probably true. But CNN has been sold out and they're more right wing at this point. You know, in some ways, think for yourself, read it on a piece of paper, and that is how you can figure out how you feel about it. Yeah. Yeah. Milbester's saying condolences to the family, loss for the YouTube community. That's sad. Yeah. I'm saying my message I sent got deleted. YouTube sucks. In that same note, we're mourning a founder of YouTube and also saying YouTube sucks. And Carlos saying, I said Justin to step down because of all the polls say he'll lose the election. And I really don't want PP win, and no matter what, I'm left all the way. Okay, so all right, I'm glad you elaborate on this. So you want him to step down because you feel like he's such a toxic candidate at this point because they've mudslinged him so hard that in some ways it could be kind of the same action as what happened with Joe Biden and Kamala, where Biden took all the bullets and then all of a sudden he stepped down and Kamala's fresh coming into the last 3 months before this election. Yeah, okay, I can see that. All right, Carlo, I'm glad you distinguished this. So that's what you meant by that. I thought you meant that you feel like he should just step down because he's not doing a good job. I appreciate you elaborating, and I apologize if I painted you in the wrong way. All right, I'm going to give you a dunk, Carlo, because I'm glad you elaborate. I'm going to give you a 2-pointer. You're at 40. You're at 40 dunks now. Okay. I don't know how the situation is with the next person coming up, though. And in some ways, I'm not liberal. I would vote for the NDP if they have a better chance. But in some ways, our party system here in Canada, we need to get our shit together and make sure PP is not going anywhere near the premier's office. I mean, the prime minister's office. I agree with that. All right, Carlo, no disrespect. I love you guys. And listen, we can all disagree, but yeah, in some ways, I'm going to go off. I'll go crazy. You know how I am. All right, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And thank you, Masai Ujiri and Basketball Without Borders, for broadening the horizons of basketball around the world for almost 25 years now. And so much great talent has been touched by Basketball Without Borders over the years. We get back to what matters, and that's the growth of basketball in this country of Canada and around the world globally. All right, guys, let's go. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for a Sunday special report. Touch that grass. And man, what a crazy stream. Songs and politics. I want to sing one more song. I don't know. Is it this is the end, my lonely friend, the end of the stream. This is the end.